Leave got it. Get me hungry.
Leave
for a
got
hot
it.
Dog.
That's what we're doing now. Okay.
Completely out of context Maria quotes.
We've talked about Jennifer Coolidge. It was in context before we started recording.
It's better.
And now it's within the context of the episode. Hello,
without
everyone.
context till the end of time.
Welcome to Tales from the Forgotten Troop. If you're enjoying what we're doing, there are many ways you can support the show, and if you literally do any of them, we will love you until the end of time because you will give us money, and it will be fantastic. One of the most exciting ways you can do that is by buying merch, which Jenna is wearing, and Crow is wearing, and I think, well, Maria has stickers. There's lots of cool designs, both show related, like directly series related, and more just like show adjacent or not related at all because they're just Pride merch designs.
Because I just decided to make stuff, so buy it.
Just because, yeah, just buy it.
Valid.
There might be more random stuff when I get inspired to make other random stuff. Who knows?
Like Siegel University jerseys. I'm waiting. You can also follow us on social
I'm gonna
media.
say football the game musical on the back.
Yes.
I will take it.
With like a rainbow.
Yeah, if anyone wants to give me funding to finish that, that'd be amazing. But if you'd like to, you can follow us on social media or join the Discord to keep up with updates about the show or just hang out with us in general. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and comment your answer to the icebreaker question, because why not? Have a say in the world. Share your opinion. Shout into the void.
Yeah, we want to know stuff about you, like your social security number, your mother's maiden name. Maria, what's the other information we'd like?
Favorite teacher in school, your
Maybe your
elementary
first pet.
school, the street you grew up in, where you want to go for a dream vacation,
Model of your first car.
make and model of your
first
car.
pet's name.
Mm-hmm. First pet's name, favorite child's name,
Mm-hmm.
parents' middle name.
We promise we won't tell your other children.
If you give
We
us
also
money.
require blood samples, and we need to know your full name as well.
If you could send over that fingerprint form, that we'd also appreciate that.
Yeah.
You may get just a nondescript
picture of
white
your ID.
box with a DNA
Send
sampling
us
kit
your
inside.
ID.
Please fill out promptly
Yep.
and return within 7 to 10 days.
If you turn in DNA to us, we will make you a part of the hive mind, which is a nice.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
For legal
Just to
reasons, we
calibrate
need to
the
say
cables.
This is a joke.
I feel like this is something
It's
you
not.
don't want to put up on the internet for legal reasons.
Anyway, jokes aside, I am contractually obligated to say jokes aside.
Contractually obligated.
We're about
let's
to
go.
get canceled by the IRS, y'all.
Oh, come on.
IRS can come fist fighting behind a Denny's.
To any future government
The
jobs
US
I'm
Marshals
applying
are coming
for,
for us.
please disregard all of
Sorry.
this.
Think about that.
Let's go around and have everyone introduce themselves and who they're playing, and honestly sort of related to Maria's list of questions.
Oh, no.
Who was your character's favorite teacher in school, and how did they impact you? Or your favorite teacher. I don't make the rules. You can just tell me whatever you want.
I'll go first. I'm Tess. I play Sylvie, aka Valkyrie. Sylvie didn't go to school. Sylvie did not have teachers in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, someone would have trained her.
She was trained by the head of the hunt for various reasons. And she has all kinds of fun trauma related to that and shirking responsibility issues.
What?
Also, why she avoids everything related to the Fae until she really can't anymore.
I'm here
That
for
may
it.
or may not come back to bite her in the butt, but it's fine. We have 2 letters that are just floating out there for no apparent reason.
No reason.
None whatsoever. Not scary werewolf creatures.
Nope. There are no consequences to any of our actions at any given point in time, so everything's fine.
Yeah, it'll be
Letters
fine.
are X and Q.
Captain.
He's been here the whole time.
I just noticed.
Captain is so
I've been
cute.
eating and filing my
He's
nails.
just like, I love you. I love you. I love you.
He's a fluffy boy.
He's huge too.
He is 9 pounds, which is not that big.
Why do you appear to be so much bigger than you are, Cat?
He's a big
He's all
looking
poof.
boy.
He
So
also
fluffy.
he looks bigger in pictures and videos because it is mostly fluff.
Got
Blondie-
it.
Yeah, he weighs 9 pounds.
Blondie weighs more than that.
How much more than that
99%
does Blondie
fluff by
weigh?
volume.
Blondie.
I think she's 15 pounds, I think.
My cat's 22.
That diet's really not working, and she's really not happy about it still. I keep getting yelled at
Barrett's
all the
diet is
time.
working. I think he's down to 16 pounds. So
We're getting wildly off topic.
yeah.
We always do.
That's
Sorry,
what-
we're
the
talking about
icebreaker
our
was
overweight
about
and
our
not
cat's
overweight
weight, right?
cats. Yeah.
No.
I have a taco.
I okay.
ADHD has kicked in. It's all downhill from here.
That you were watching TIFF? No, you're watching ADHD.
The extreme heat just baked my brain.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah,
It's also Friday, so like the brain went.
Friday.
I don't have any brain cells left, to be honest. That's why I'm playing Roxy, because I don't have to think too hard about anything. I'm Jenna, and I play Roxy DeMarco, and her favorite teacher is Mr. Walker, because Mr. Walker was the shop teacher, and he just let her do pretty much whatever, so she was making all kinds of like crazy, I don't know, motors and stuff like that. Might have blown some things up. It was, but he was like one of those teachers that was just like ready to retire, so he just didn't give a shit. So he's like, do whatever, I don't care.
As long as you don't die or kill someone else. That's...
Yeah, pretty much. Like nobody die, nobody go to the hospital. That's fine.
I think I can go next here. Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Crow, alternatively just Crow, and I will be playing Joe Hatathli, aka Watchdog. I almost forgot to point.
There was a little twirl there.
Yeah, that was me. Like, whoops.
Style.
And I
Very
think
good.
Joe's favorite teacher. I'd say for a while he couldn't really get attached to a teacher, so I would say probably his favorite teacher was his high school gym instructor.
I knew you were gonna say gym teacher.
Yeah,
Knew
who,
it.
who definitely introduced him to and helped him become great at football. So got a lot of thanks to give him, I would suppose.
I was guessing it was going to be a gym teacher or the coach that he
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah, I was gonna
blackmailed
say gym
into,
teacher or coach. Yep.
or into delivering his odd messages to clan.
Stop.
Oleander is the goat in Joe's eyes for having done that and deserves an explanation all his own, but Joe's favorite teacher is definitely the one who helped him find what he was good at, I guess.
I'm Brianna. I play Cynthia Evans, otherwise known as Echo. This is my cat.
That's Captain, and we
That
love
is
him.
Captain. He's just chilling. He crawled up here and he's leaving now. He crawled up here and just flopped over in my arms. And yeah, okay. He's headed off to do other things than talking. Anyways,
It's a cat thing.
yeah. I don't think Cynthia really had a favorite teacher per se. She was not really like, I mean, she was a good student in terms of grades, but she was not really an overt troublemaker, but like she would do things that were not, major teachers not fans of her, but weren't technically reportable offenses.
Gentle antagonism.
Sure, yeah. Or she'd do it in a way where they couldn't prove it was her, but
Mm,
they knew it was her.
clever antagonism.
That said, just because of the playbook she has, her favorite teacher would probably be Hecate. When she was 10, she went on a school trip to Barnett Industries and accidentally copied Hecate's power and blew up a lab. And they couldn't prove it was her, technically, because there was supervillain activity in the area, but Hecate took her under her wing after that. So,
For the record, if you ever tell Sylvie this story, she will adore it so much.
I don't think it's something that Cynthia keeps a secret. It's just not something she brings up like out of the blue or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know there's like glass everywhere, shattered. Hecate was like, "This child needs help, and I'm not equipped for it. God damn it, I think it has to be me."
Joe's thought bubble is, wow, that's way better than the first time my powers kicked on.
And now
Y'all
she's
were there the
adopted
first-
5 other kids at least. So
Whether she wanted them or not.
Mm-hmm.
6.
It happens.
Yep.
It's an ongoing Katamari Damacy of children.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
She has unwillingly become Professor X.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally it.
She's like the
So
grouchiest Professor X ever. Like, oh, not
She's-
again.
Professor X was a reluctant mentor. She's just like, oh, my daughter's adopted 6 new friends. Okay, here we go.
I'm happy she's making friends, but why do I have to be the adult?
Pretty
Why are
much.
3 of them now also calling me mom? Can you explain?
Super mom.
3 of them are calling me mom, and the 4th
Watch
one
Daddy and
has
Super Mom.
turned up with a cult.
Great.
Huh?
I think the
She's
superhero
having a
team might
great
already
day.
be a cult.
And it's not the one I thought was gonna turn up with the cult.
The only one that seemed responsible, and he's part of a cult. Are you kidding me?
I don't think she'd consider Watchdog responsible.
Or
I
watch
don't think
them.
she's any less annoyed.
I don't think she mistook him for responsible. She could
She was the
feel
one
the
who
repression
immediately
in the
saw
air.
through his BS and is like, yeah, sure, you're the responsible one.
That one's
Okay.
gonna explode any day now. Any day.
Probably has a running tally of when she thinks each of us is going to explode at any given point.
I feel like that number's high for Roxy, because even though she's the most volatile, she lets off the things that could make her just self-destruct a lot more.
You can't let your emotions build up and go off in a big burst. You gotta like small burst, right? Like otherwise the pressure builds, and then everything gets destroyed.
And it's all pairs.
Or you kill someone. By accident.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Somebody might have been repressing
By
their emotions a little too long.
That's questionable. I don't think any of us
It was
believe
an
fine.
accident.
Sylvie will say it's an accident until the day she dies.
Roxy was 200%
Guys.
ready to act like she did not know that person died. Like she was 200% ready to just be like, I don't know.
Oh.
I do have one more person to introduce here, though.
Yes.
I'm Maria. I play Elena, aka Easy Living. And her favorite teacher would have been her English tutor when she first moved to America. She knew some English, but not a whole lot. And I just did a random name generator, and her name was Matilda Goodwin.
Good one.
She was a lovely lady.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely the name of, ironically, like a Roald Dahl style, like nice teacher.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Man, I loved Matilda growing up. What a great movie.
Yeah, I was definitely picturing that teacher as Mrs. Honeypot. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%. I'm like, that's who that is. In my brain.
Now that we've gotten that taken care of, start of the session, add a team to the pool. We have 15.
Gotta spend
15.
this stuff.
And previously on Jukebox Justice, the team gave Joe a debrief of everything that had been going on since he was gone. It was quite the list that he somewhat struggled to wrap his head around. And Sylvie opened the floating scroll that was waiting for them in the base and found it was a letter from Thistle, explaining there was a Roxy in the other universe, which was less reassuring considering some of their speculations. But it might mean that the universe won't implode if the two Roxys meet, so, you know, small victories, maybe. The group then decided to split up to follow up on some things. Sylvie and Roxy paid a visit to Henry, who was analyzing the hair samples, and she asked Roxy if she had a twin because DNA samples were incredibly similar, but she wasn't yet able to identify what was causing the differences. Elena, Cynthia, and Joe went to track down Tony and the other Roxy to bring them back to Halcyon. Joe stayed the night at the cabin to explain things to Tony and keep an eye on them. Tony, understandably, was pretty upset with some of the risks Joe was taking in recruiting Blindside and informing the rest of the team about everything that was going on, but seems to be mostly okay for the moment.
It's
And Freya
stable in
also
the
did
way-
some weird mind magic on Joe, and now he is like in love with a cat.
That's his emotional support, Faye.
It is stable in the way that those videos of dogs standing on stools where it's just kind of going like brrrr, it stays stable. Like technically, yes, not going to fall, but gosh, is it shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So picking up Sylvie and Roxy, we're going to talk to Grandpa Les.
Grandpa Les. Grandpa Les. Sorry, I get very excited.
So I have a question for this. Because
Sure.
Sylvie's been blatantly avoiding Grandpa Les this entire
Yeah.
campaign.
His entire everything.
But she is feeling guilty about how she's been burdening her team with her own shit.
Okay.
And if she's willing to give up her wall with Grandpa Les, can I clear guilty?
Ooh.
Deals.
You got to go to the therapist.
Hmm.
Yes, I do have to go
I
to
better,
the
I better
therapist.
call to clear one of these goddamn conditions. That's hilarious.
I'll say potentially. I would
Depending
largely
on how
like
it
to
goes.
yeah, I would largely like to see
Yeah.
how this goes first, but it is
Okay.
on the table as a possibility.
Keep in mind, you don't clear that until you do it in the scene somehow.
Yeah.
Imagine
don't
Grandpa
remember
Les.
where all
But I
my-
do think we did establish if we're going to try and clear a condition in this scene, we should inform Charlie first
Yes.
before we do it.
I mean, largely just tell me you're trying to clear a condition, but
Mhm.
so Grandpa Les probably lives in a small, cozy little house with Gus, and I don't know if there's still a grandma in the picture, but where they would have lived together. And it's getting
grandma.
It's
His
not,
wife died. He's a widower. I
okay.
decided.
Um,
Sorry, Grandpa. I
it's
killed
not
your wife.
super duper late, but it is getting later into the evening. But you can stop by, and I don't know. It's actually no, it's a little chilly, so you probably just see there's a light on inside, where you imagine he's probably in his comfy little armchair with a little throw blanket over his legs and Gus curled up on his lap, reading a book maybe, or listening to the radio.
Grandpa Les. Grandpa Les. Grandpa Les. Grandpa Les.
A few moments pass before pulls the door open and just says, "Oh, Roxy, I didn't know you were coming to pay me a visit this evening, and you brought your friend Sylvie."
Yeah.
Sylvie kind of scuffs her foot and looks down, but then she's like gives a little like soft hi. And sorry to bother you so late.
I have some questions about brain stuff, but also I have some other awkward questions. It'd be better if you didn't ask too much about them, but you know.
Okay, we can handle the conversation however you're comfortable. Why don't you come on in? I can make a pot of tea. I think I might have some extra cookies from your mom. We can have some cookies and tea.
That sounds nice.
Gus is
She'll
like
just give him
behind
a
his
hug.
he hugs you back. Gus is like right behind him, tail wagging as he looks up at both of you.
She bends down to pick up Gus.
Oh yeah. Gus is
Yeah,
already
like,
like putting up
kisses.
his paws, like, yes, pick me up. Cradle me in your
Yes,
arms.
kisses.
It's
Gus
probably a
gives
brief
lots of
cat
kisses.
moment where Sylvie evaluates, do I hug the dog?
Or do I bap it on the nose? I'm not sure.
She does boop him and then does give him a hug though, because it's also like Toby was a dog for a while. So
That might be okay.
Gus will give you a
This
little
one might be okay.
lick on the cheek.
Aw.
But Grandpa Les will close the door and lead you over to the kitchen where he will go put the kettle on and take some foil off of a plate of cookies and set those down on the table. And unless you want to start the conversation, he'll just go like busy himself with making the tea so he can like once that's done, pour cups for everyone and sit down and give you his full attention.
She'll wait.
He groans a little bit as he sits in his chair and the wood creaks a little bit under his weight, but he wraps his hands around his own steaming cup of tea and says, all right, now, what did you want to talk about? What questions about brain things did you have?
Yeah, well, first, I don't have a twin that I don't know about, right?
Not that I know of. I'm pretty sure that I would know if you had a twin, but there was no... As far as we've known for years, you're an only child, Roxy.
Well, except for Tony.
You're an only Roxy.
That would be... Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. Word. All right. Well, you remember Sylvie. We're dating now. I'm also dating Cynthia and Elena, just to get that out of the way. We're all dating each other, right? Sylvie, right? That's what's happening. Yeah. Okay.
we haven't told Tony yet. We need to break it to him ourselves.
Yeah, he's got a little crush on Sylvie. But also, he took a really long time to tell her, like way too long, so...
Technically, he did not tell me. Technically, you told me.
Just now. Yeah, I did that, didn't I? Whoops.
You confirmed it.
Well, I kept that a secret much longer than I thought I would, so... Improvements.
It'll be a learning experience for Tony.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So what do you know about, like, brainwashing and, like, stuff like that?
Well, there are various possibilities. Would probably largely be along the lines of mental conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So a series of triggers and rewards for doing the good behavior to get you into a certain state of compulsivity and adherence. As on a larger scale, if it was to completely rework someone's personality, I would imagine there would need to be some form of induced amnesia, since just mental personalities and mental states can be difficult to break down completely. Especially if an individual is particularly resilient. So could be, depending on the nature of things, if it's someone more susceptible to influence, And that sort of conditioning could be have a stronger hold on the person. But is there
Yeah.
like a specific
So like
type
just
of
say there was
behavior?
like a phrase that triggered like a certain behavior and like caused them to just like thoughtlessly go into that like mindset of like I've got to go to this place now because they said some words.
Almost a
some
trance
numbers.
like state, erasing
Yeah.
the original
You're-
personality.
Under normal circumstances, I think that would be a level that's fairly difficult to achieve. I could imagine that with a certain level of conditioning, that desire might be a sense of familiarity or, again, a compulsion, but there'd be something more powerful at play to actually force someone into a trance-like state where they have no mental capabilities of breaking that hold.
Mm-hmm. So how long would conditioning like that take?
I think it depends. If it's just typical trigger reward conditioning, it'll probably take a while. If it's someone who's older, a younger individual who's more susceptible might pick up on it more quickly. But it would be a lengthy process for someone in their teen years or adulthood. If we're
Like
talking
years? Or like
years,
months?
months to years, depending on the
Roxy's
exact
doing mental
nature of it.
math.
On the other hand, we do, concerning the world we live in, superpowers could be a factor in that, which could shorten the timelines drastically. Maybe
That would be
you don't even need more than a few minutes to rewrite someone's personality or implant those kinds of suggestions.
Love that.
As far as I know, can't imagine someone would want that to be public knowledge, but I don't know
What
of
if
any, like, publicly known individuals with that.
the mind in question was a cloned mind from the original individual, but did not share the experience or the physical experiences?
So are you suggesting the conditioning happened to the cloned mind, or
Yes, the
and like
cloned
was
mind being
influencing the other mind? So like conditioning
No.
on one brain was influencing both, or it was a
potentially the clone mind is its own, but it has the memories of the older individual, but does not have the age of the older individual.
That there's probably a greater potential for success in that case if you're already manipulating an individual so much as to clone them. I don't imagine it would take much more to implant certain directives.
And if this were to happen, how would we undo it?
It is something that is easily identifiable and something that could be isolated. Some aspects of therapy could reverse the effects. But if there's anyone with powers that do involve the mind and the brain, they might be able to do
Like a telepath?
something, perhaps. They might be able to do something a bit more involved and dig into the actual mental connections and find where that conditioning is located to reverse it.
Okay.
That would need to be a very careful process because the brain is sensitive, so any mistakes in that area could be rather detrimental to the person
And
involved.
in theory, if this person had a healing factor,
That in theory could also be boosted.
no, I was just I'm wondering if like that would like make it so that those connections were always going to be there, or if they could still be severed, or like new connections redirect, like traffic. If we could redirect it to something else.
I don't believe there have been many medical studies on how physical healing factors also affect mental capabilities, so I don't really have a good answer there.
Yeah.
It could work the
complicated.
same way, or it could be vastly different, and the mind could be just as susceptible as normal despite the healing factor.
So if in theory you were somebody who had super strength and superpowers and were super dangerous, and you also had some sort of mind controlling brainwashing going on, how would you proceed with that to address that issue? A really hard hit on the head doesn't work. We've tried it.
If possible, I think isolating the triggers would be a good first step, knowing what causes the behavior and seeing if there could be some way to redirect the desire. Maybe think of another path that could be taken or somewhere you could go if you hear that. Not necessarily, and practice it not necessarily in conjunction with the trigger itself, but work on redirecting that energy and developing a competing habit. That would be a starting place.
I like that. Like, instead of doing the thing that they want, I'll punch them in the face.
No, I don't think we want that, because that still puts you in their grasp.
But if they think I'm going to go somewhere else and then I punch them in the face, they won't expect that.
Or we could just have you go somewhere safe.
That's another option, but I also kind of want to punch them in the face.
We can punch them in the face later. Our first priority is you getting somewhere safe.
Okay, well, we got to figure this out. So maybe we could see if Hecate can find the connections in my brain. I know that Joe thinks that she, Grandpa Les knows everything.
Grandpa Les has a therapist spy network.
There's
Yes.
there's grandpa granddaughter confidentiality in play here, so
Just don't tell Sylvie about the therapist work and we'll be fine.
Grandpa Les is literally the therapist for the entire mob. Let's just
yes.
it's fine. Legality is not an issue.
Because Joe thinks that Hecate might be a secret werewolf, so. But I don't think she's a secret werewolf. That would be silly. She's really smart. She would have already taken over the whole city if she had like infinite werewolf supreme powers,
I agree with you on this statement.
Intelligent and resourceful.
Yeah. Super smart. Yeah. She's got cool gadgets, so she probably got money, or at least skills to make cool gadgets. So,
How is Grandpa Les reacting to hearing any of this conversation?
He looks completely unfazed. He's just like smiling and sipping his tea.
I feel like that unnerves Sylvie even more than he's not reacting to any of this.
Nope. He's the therapist for the mob.
I know, but she has no idea. Well, actually, no, she does know that. Never mind.
Nothing can phase that therapist, I promise. All right. Well, so
He's Roxy's grandpa. Like, let's be real.
He's used to her just blurting out whatever's happening in her brain. All right. So what you're saying is like whenever somebody says that, then we got to work on like creating like a competing one with that.
Ideally,
Or
you
we
should.
got to find a telepath or somebody who can do mind powers who could unhook the brain.
Yes, I think the competing path should become a habit before testing it against the trigger, just because of you want to have that behavior sort of ingrained already before you're trying to undermine any sort of conditioning.
Surprisingly, I agree with Grandpa Les. We want the potential defense up before we try the action.
That's good. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Anyways, how are you?
Doing good, Roxy. Just
It's been a few weeks or something. Oh, actually,
Roxy, you don't know how long it's been.
I have no idea. Anyways, if at some point you talk to me and I don't remember this conversation, don't worry about it, all right? It's no big deal.
okay, Roxy. I'll just hand you another cookie.
This man is a saint.
Yes.
We don't deserve Grandpa Les.
Question: what kind of cookies are these that we're
Chocolate chip.
being fed?
They're
Chocolate chip.
Big cookies with the big like chocolate chunks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Mhm.
soft.
Yeah, Roxy's dipping it in the tea because she's put milk in the tea, so it's like.
No.
I feel like Sylvie didn't eat or drink anything until Roxy started, and then she was like, "Oh no,
Because he might be a fae.
ingrained behavior."
Just like sticks his nose like right over the lip of the table, and it's just
You can't
sniffing for
have
the cookies.
chocolate, Gus. Go lay down.
he licks your elbow.
Yeah, I bet. That's a very precious behavior, actually. I'm not saying that your dog has done that, but I'm saying that your dog has done that to me. When I
Are
tell her
there
to go
any
lay down.
plants in this room?
There's probably a couple small like potted plants.
Can I have one grow a little strawberry for Gus so he can have something to eat?
I'll say it's gosh, I don't know plants. It's got like
Carrots?
longer leaves, and you can grow one at the end of the leaves, so it droops down a little bit within Gus's reach, and he goes over,
Aw, that's so sweet.
nibbles it up.
Aw. Sylvie, did you have anything else you wanted to ask Grandpa Les?
Sylvie pauses a moment and looks at Grandpa Les, and she hesitantly asks, "I find myself having a crisis of faith. I was brought up among very different values that I find myself embracing, and I don't know necessarily how to redefine my standing among my own native culture and where I am now within Halcyon. I recently made a decision to protect some people by injuring another, something that would not have caused any reaction back home, but did have a more negative reaction than I anticipated here.
having faith-based crises can be fairly common, so you're not alone in this experience, certainly. And I think a large part of it has to do with your own self-discovery and finding where you are in life. Think about where you come from, where you grew up, and how that's different from the situation you find yourself in now. Are there certain parts of your culture that you love and appreciate and want to continue to embrace? And if the answer is yes, you can take the time to identify those and see which ones continue to align with your values and your faith and your beliefs. And then consider where you are now and the people who you're around and what they bring to your experiences, what you value and love and cherish about them, and if you want to incorporate those into your identity. And you can learn to mesh these two sources of origin into who you are. It doesn't have to be an either or situation. It's about your own personal growth and who you want to be and where you want to go in the future.
How do you reconcile the good this part of your business does with the rest of your family business? And the actions and how they often push in different directions.
It is certainly not an easy issue to tackle, especially in the beginning, but I largely focus on the people I care about and helping them feel whole and confident and well in what they're pursuing. And we'll try and help them consider what effect their actions have. So if there's certain things lead to more negative outcomes, address, is that really what they want to be doing and where they want to be going? Or is there a different approach that we can take? Do I always agree with the paths they follow? No, but the people I'm involved with, I care deeply about, and that is often more important.
Yeah, Grandpa Les taught me there's 3 things that you need to keep in mind when you communicate, and it's your ego and your own personal values and all that, your relationship with whoever you're communicating with, and your goal. And you have to prioritize those different every time you communicate based on what your objective is. And whether that's less important or more important than like the relationship and your own ego.
Very
Right?
well said. Yes, Roxy, that's very well said. It's not always your place to impose your belief systems on the actions of others.
Yeah.
I'll admit I find the DeMarco perspective more refreshing than I had anticipated coming here.
I'm glad. I'm always pleases me when I'm able to help others. And it's been lovely having you here, Sylvie, and sharing some tea and being able to talk with you.
Really good to see you. And she just like gives him a big hug.
He chuckles and hugs you back. Grandpa Les, not Grandpa Les, Gus trots over and is like, "Me too, give me attention."
Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm detecting a common personality with another dog I know. Give me
No.
a right,
you,
Precious?
Yes, you.
Sylvie will
Hi, guys.
give Grandpa Les at least a handshake. Not quite a hug yet, but
We'll get there.
more contact than she's given.
Yes.
Um,
He smiles warmly at you and will accept the handshake.
And against how she's been brought up, say thank you specifically for the food. And
It's like, you're welcome.
we'll give Gus a couple of ear scritches as well.
Oh, Gus
Roxy's
loves
So
them.
he doesn't-
mushing his face right now and giving him like nose boobs.
You lean in for the nose boop and his tongue comes out and licks your nose.
Smells
We're
like
having
dog
like a
food and
contest.
strawberries.
I mean, at least his breath smells like strawberries right now, you know?
I'll make sure to bring him more next time.
Yeah.
Just grow an always ripe strawberry plant specifically for Gus.
Oh.
So you probably have to limit it to like 1 to 2 strawberries a day, otherwise.
Otherwise, he's
He's
gonna
gonna make
have
himself
the
sick on
strawberry
strawberries.
shits. Yeah. That'd be terrible.
Sylvie might give a mental command to the plant in that like not to overfeed the dog if it became sentient. I don't know anymore.
So
The
he's just like,
plants,
I don't
they
have
all
control
know
over the plants
capitalism
anymore.
now. All right.
Even if it's not, she does it just in case it somehow develops, because who knows what happens in 2 months.
We
It's just
don't
plant
know.
evolution.
Yeah.
We just
Wherever Sylvie goes, the plants just evolve in a weird way.
seeing as I just probably turned a spider plant into a partial strawberry plant, so
No,
it's fine.
it's totally fine. All right, I think that's all we had to get done at Grandpa Les's house.
Yeah, and Sylvie doesn't know better to like look at this place, so no.
I think I will allow you to clear guilty because I feel that was also very much Sylvie actually addressing and thinking about and reflecting on her past, which she's been
starting to.
adamantly avoiding up to this point.
Yeah, just a little bit.
The two of you
Just
can
learning she can't just straight up murder people. It's fine.
Reevaluating my entire ethical code.
So are the two of you just gonna go back to base
Yeah.
at this point?
She thought about calling Hecate and then seeing if Hecate could try to help her unhook her brain, but they need her brain to still be hooked in order to find out where she was supposed to go. So I think that she has figured out that she needs to leave the brain hooked for a hot minute.
It also might be beneficial that if we have Grandpa Les also observing if we mess with your brain.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
I'll give him my communicator. Cynthia's gonna kill me. I'll go through communicator so fucking fast.
She's gonna kill me too.
She'll just like set it to like a separate channel that he can call her any of them on, and that they can call him on.
Did I add Grandpa Les and Gus to my ongoing list of
Yes.
team
Yes.
members of the squad?
Yes.
All right.
Joe should call him daily.
I mean, that
Is
is
Grandpa
correct.
Les potentially getting midnight calls from Sylvie now? Maybe.
Asking
I'm-
how the strawberries are evolving.
Maybe. Sometimes ethical questions, who knows?
All right. The two of you can head back to base.
Yeah.
Elena, Cynthia, and Eugene are going back to Halcyon after leaving Joe. So is there anything we're going to do on the way back, or just focus on getting back to Halcyon and reconvening with Roxy and Sylvie.
I don't think there was anything. Elena will offer to fly Eugene.
Yeah,
He
okay.
wants to fly.
Yeah, he's a little skeptical at
can
first,
walk.
but he's just like, sure.
When are you gonna get
Um,
another chance to try and fly?
Yeah.
If Elena decreases gravity on him, wait, do you also have the ability to like move him via gravity stuff?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, so you
Maybe?
can probably work together for that if you don't. But if you do, then Cynthia will leave you to it.
Usually she just tries to make things heavier, and sometimes that works. Sometimes that doesn't work. But like she can control herself while she's flying, so I'd imagine she has like
I was about to say, hypothetically, you could almost like mimic telekinesis by decreasing one thing's
Gravity
gravitational
on
effect
one
and then
edge and-
increasing
yeah.
like a few objects in front of it, so it's just like drawn forward.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll decrease his gravity so he's like flying with them.
It's fine, even if you're just or if it's the first time testing
just kind of
it. You're
floating,
doing it with
yeah.
a werewolf. There's self-healing.
Straight up in wolf form. I don't think he's shifted since
No.
they came out here.
Nope. He did not shift at the cabin. He's not shifted back now. He is
It's fine.
staying in wolf form. But you can get back to Halcyon and head back to base. And I imagine Sylvie and Roxy got there first. Probably hanging out. You can. As soon as you're back inside, Eugene will shift back into his human form.
How was the Henry?
So current question is if there is the potential of Roxy being a clone, or one of the Roxys being a clone of the other, because the DNA looks very... Looking at my notes, sorry. The DNA was similar enough to be a clone, but Henry was unable to determine which sample came from the original host, correct, Charlie?
Yes. She could identify a difference in the DNA, but she didn't have enough other samples to compare it to figure out what that difference was.
So it's like she needed samples from other Roxys or just more samples from these Roxys? Too many Roxys.
You would need a sample from like twins, from other identical twins to see if it compares.
And you don't have a twin, but just a secret twin at all?
I did ask Grandpa Les, and he said no.
Okay.
There's only one Roxy, and I was like, that's awkward because there's not one Roxy. There's two Roxys,
Well, you didn't
at least.
Well, we didn't necessarily say there were two Roxys, but it might have been implied.
It should be easy to find twins around here. Just put up posting looking for DNA for twins for science project, and they just
That's not
give
sus
them
at all.
$5. Everybody trusts very
Aren't-
strange corporations
you
asking for
German?
your DNA.
Aren't you German though?
Yeah.
You remember in Germany when they were asking about twins and like
I will promise money for twins.
sell your twins to us.
Ooh.
However, Henry also brought up the fact that, in an unrelated note, but still kind of related to things that we're dealing with, Epic Labs has been synthesizing the seaweed that went missing, potentially to find superpowers.
Yeah.
Is that why we had super kelp?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Henry wants to meet with Cynthia for more science-y conversations.
Yeah.
Oh, Watchdog is staying with Tony and
That's probably good.
Roxy, I
Mhm.
guess. For the night.
They need to like bond and stuff.
They'll be back tomorrow at some point.
Do I get to meet other Roxy then?
I mean, there were no black holes when the DNA was
Right.
in
It
close
was a small
proximity.
sample, though.
It is true.
But she said there were no like explosive or like destructive things that happened when the samples were together.
And the lab did seem whole when we visited.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you go see Grandpa Les?
To find out how to unhook my brain.
I would grab let's know how to do that.
Disconnect like TV.
Just unplug it.
Well, he said that we should create a competing thing that I do at the trigger. I would assume that we do it similar to the trigger where you don't say the full phrase, but you say part of the phrase. And then I like start doing that and we have a reward system for it.
Would work. It'd be
And then-
interesting to see what happens with each word, the trigger.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking he probably means like if we did like part of the trigger word, that would trigger the first thing before the other thing. So I would already be in that other competing thing and it would be easier to unhook and like redirect the brain connections to that one. You know what I'm saying? But maybe
little?
Hecate might know a little more. Like, I don't know what her telepathy like limits are, but she might be able to take a peek. She would probably have to work in unison with Sylvie though. You know, again.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
It might
mean,
also
she
be
could-
beneficial to have someone who is like Grandpa Les, who is also trained in mental
Yeah.
health as well.
I gave my
present.
communicator to Grandpa Les so we could call him. Ah. So, because he might
You gave
want
him your communicator, or you gave him like one of the ones we give to people when we
I
need
gave
to-
him mine. I can go back and trade it with one of the other ones.
Please do.
All right. Probably tomorrow,
enough. Fair enough.
though.
The main communicators are built slightly differently than the other ones.
That's fine. I can use a bonus one for a day, though. It'll be fine. Also, we're on the buddy system, so somebody else should have their communicator as well. As
Alright.
long as we don't deviate from the buddy system. Where's Joe? I thought we were doing a buddy system.
He's
He
with
decided
Tony.
to- Yeah.
Remember?
Is Tony included in the buddy system?
I would assume. They're buddies. That's how the system work. You go with buddies.
Flawless logic.
I love it.
why
Tony
we always
also
go
does have
together.
enough knowledge to communicate with us, I would assume, in this
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, other Roxy's there too. And if we're the same person because I'm a clone, then technically it's still buddy system, I guess. Sort of. I don't know.
But has other Roxy shown any knowledge that you would have?
I don't know.
Regarding
I've never met
powers?
other Roxy. Nobody will let me meet other Roxy because they said the world was gonna collapse. I'd like to
said-
ask her questions.
Tony said he does not remember you having power.
Yeah, I know. Which makes
But-
me think that this all has to be connected. So
But
like
he has a feeling like you should kind of thing. Like he remembers a Roxy that had power. But
Well, and
when I
that-
called your house, your mother remembered us.
yeah. Well, but the other Roxy doesn't remember being friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Something
it's
weird going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
his house.
Cynthia, that was kind of the case with Hecate, right? Like she started to feel like there was something that she should know, but
Yeah.
like there's that sense that some. I feel like maybe the guy with the whip sword might be behind this. This could be a timeline divergent, Roxy, and that would explain why we have similar DNA, but there's some differences.
Could the memory alteration be a degrees of separation? You lived closer with Tony for a while, did you not? Than your
Yeah,
parents?
with living with him.
So it could explain why your mother remembered us and Tony did not. Where Tony didn't
He
remember
remembered you. He just didn't remember me having powers.
the relevant information regarding it, though.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's been some memory fuckery or some fuckery with the timeline. I mean, we're still at our two base conclusions. Well, at least it's not random, spontaneous Roxy popping up wherever. But, timeline fuckery or cloning. Those are the two kind of big possibilities. And actually, there's a lot of evidence for both, so I don't really know. Be nice if they were all related, though, because then I like that the problems are we can address them all at once. I like the efficiency of that.
Solves the problems immediately.
Yeah.
And then don't have to worry about them later, because we have fixed all of them.
Yeah, that would be ideal, but we'll see. I'm just wondering if that guy is the same, but I don't know. What do we think about the idea of saying the words and finding out where I try to go and then knocking me out before I get there?
I'm still on board with that, but I think we need to
That's a daytime whole party affair, I think.
Yeah.
talk
We also
Joe into
need
being
to
present.
I think we need to say the words to the other Roxy too to see what happens with her.
Mm-hmm.
We brought it up, but Tony seemed reluctant to do it then and there, which fair.
That's fair. That we should probably.
But she doesn't have superpowers. That would have been the perfect time to do it because she couldn't walk there.
But if she does have sleeper agent
Something
superpowers,
Oh yeah, that would be bad.
We should also probably
And-
tell her what could happen before. Just, hey, word and phrases, and then her brain goes all.
I think
weird.
that we're gonna have to explain a lot of things to her before we do it. Like why there's two of us, which we don't really have.
We can't
reason
really
for.
explain that.
Can't explain that one.
We only know that it's two of us. On the bright side, she'll be great cover for my alter ego Calamity, because if we can be seen at the same times. Then people can't suspect it's me. Because how could we possibly be in the same place?
it's worth thinking about.
I don't know.
Mostly right now, I'm worried about
Just
the
trying to
people who
find
know
bright
who
sides
you
to
are
shit.
Mm-hmm.
outside of a costume.
Yeah, well. Then we have a whole werewolf cult to deal with after we deal with
do
this.
have a very large werewolf cult to deal with. And then Rook Labs after the werewolf cult.
Well, unless Rook Labs is the ones who was programming my brain and the reason
That's
that there's
true.
two Roxys, because then we could just address that all right then. And then we just have Joe's problems to deal with after that. And then I think some of us have some residual problems that we might need to deal with that have been on the back burner. Like Sarah's whole entire
Existence.
timeline being erased,
That one could also be linked to your timeline erasure, though.
Yeah.
We haven't
Timeline
I
negated
hope so.
that.
It would be very, very, very it would be
You're
a very weird coincidence if we did both just have timeline fuckery and yeah. It'd be very weird.
My dad seems
Sarah,
to
who is currently sitting upside down on the couch with her feet over the back of the couch and her head down and like tossing popcorn up and catching it in her mouth, is just like, maybe it has something to do with the fact that you carried me through the portal.
Do you think that I got double timelines and you got no timeline? Is that what happened?
The portal couldn't tell the difference between the two of you and just guessed.
Occam's razor.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Was
you didn't
there? I
exist
mean,
in that world either.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I didn't have anyone to replace me and then Roxy brought me back, maybe there was some weird.
Why didn't you have a
Dang.
double in the other world? That's just so weird.
But Roxy's double existed, is still in the other world as well, though. So why is there a
Yeah,
residual
but
double?
maybe
Was
here?
there
it-
two Roxys running around in Halcyon while I was gone?
I mean, I'm wondering if because I didn't have a double and we came back through together, maybe the weird reality bending stuff
Hmm.
assumed that there like wasn't a Roxy here, or like there already was, or it's like maybe it's trying to maybe it thinks
Balance.
that you like didn't exist, so it was like, oh, we need to create one, and so it made a second Roxy, and then you still came back through the portal.
Gotcha.
Because maybe it read us as like the same person and was like, oh, we have to rectify the timeline. and create another
Gotcha.
Roxy.
Oh, like if there were like random people that were timeline keepers or something.
I guess, yeah.
Maria knows
Some
where
sort
I'm
of
going
like
with this.
time police.
Yes.
Time police.
The time police.
How often do you have to deal with portals and timeline divergences, Botch Papa?
Usually it's just like, this is a first. This is very much a first.
This must be a lot for you. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, it's a lot, but all in all, the at this point, the overt threats are more theoretical than something we have to deal with right away. So
That's true.
easier to address.
Theoretically, we could also address certain specialists in Sweden regarding timeline divergences and portals and see if they have any
Sweden.
prior knowledge.
Timeline specialist in Sweden.
Is that something normal over there in Oslo?
Yes. Well, I don't think that we should. I think that should be definitely explored. I don't know what your comfortability is with exploring that. That might need to be like a plan B or C. I don't know.
Last time I snuck into Sweden, I pushed some limits.
Yes, and Sweden is known for having a very, very low tolerance for limit pushing and sneaking into their country.
Strict borders.
Yes.
Girl's just dying. This is fine.
The most awkward conversation about Sweden that has ever happened in the history of the country.
The phrase "last time I snuck into Sweden" is killing me.
Motivational meme Monday. Last time I snuck into Sweden.
I've got to like pre-program those because I keep forgetting to do them. Monday gets crazy and then I'm just like, I need sleep. Okay, well, yeah.
Okay.
So you met my brother though. How'd that go?
Kind of
He's-
standoffish, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
Why
he's
does that make
Tony.
sense?
We told him
You-
to leave the city with your
Yeah,
double.
we gave him very
Why?
little
He's
context.
not standoffish. That's weird.
I mean, in this particular situation.
I guess.
Yeah, in this sense, all of a sudden he has two sisters, and he was told to leave with one immediately, and we haven't contacted him since.
I
And
wonder
then
how
we
we're
did-
gonna have to tell my parents that I have a twin now with the same name.
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Hopefully, we don't have to.
Would Grandpa Les potentially tell them that you were asking these questions regarding a twin?
No, we got granddaughter,
Probably not.
grandfather confidentiality clauses.
Okay. Cynthia's like, not my problem right now.
He's very much a that's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Um,
sounds like a mess. No,
You
thank
can
you.
you can all hang out at the base then for the rest of the night. Is Joe going to do anything else out of the cabin, or is he just going to keep an ear out and, you know, hang tight? Since he did have a pretty extensive conversation with Tony at the end of last session.
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. Long shot. Are there any writing supplies at the cabin?
Yeah, I mean it's like somewhere you can stay in. So there's probably similar to a hotel. There's probably like a notepad and a pen that you can use. It's not labeled or anything. It's just like a plain white notepad, like a bigger one. So it's not like super duper tiny. It's kind of a smaller like legal pad size.
Mhm.
Okay. I feel like Joe waits for both Roxy and Tony to get to sleep before trying to get to sleep himself. Lays awake for 2 hours, thinking about assorted things and conversations that have yet to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Gets up, finds the notepad and a pen, starts writing something out. Pretty quickly, like, tears it off, crumples it up, throws it over his shoulder, starts writing something else out.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna
And-
use up this whole notepad.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that basically goes on until he is asleep on the desk, just surrounded by a small pile of used notepad paper.
Tracks. That tracks.
Alrighty. The rest of the night is fairly peaceful, and you can get up and head out, like pack your things and have breakfast and head out in the morning. But before we pick up with everyone else, we can go ahead and take a break. So we'll be back here in a few minutes.
Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something. 'Cause I feel alone in a room, surrounded by people I wanna know.
this is moving
to end this conversation.
that plan's all well and good in regards to the Roxy situation, but I've still got some questions.
Of course.
Starting with what's with the cat.
That's Freya. She's real nice.
Yeah, you said that. She's from the
Sylvie
other
question.
world. How did she get here?
She teleported.
Freya has slight portal
Freya
abilities.
Stretches.
Freya has
And
skills.
Freya stretches and gets up on all fours, and a little cat-sized portal opens. She jumps through, and then another one opens, and she jumps back out.
Freya's so cool.
Not gonna lie, if my cat could do that, nothing would be safe in my apartment.
Never, ever, ever.
Hey, Sylvie?
He would portal himself into the food bag.
Yes.
What the shit?
That's the
valid.
coolest cat ever. We got a super cat.
Don't fully know. Freya is a new development.
Like
A lot of this is a new development for me, but she's not gonna like yank us back into the other world, is she?
that you can't fit through that portal, even in
I-
your wolf form. You're too big.
Have my suspicions that Freya's origin is not entirely the other world itself either.
It comes over and sits
Ah.
in front of Joe and just stares at him, tail wagging back and forth.
The tail is just like whipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta let things happen, Joe.
But no, as far as I am
So
aware,
stressed about
Freya
everything.
cannot yank us back into the other world.
Mm-mm.
Rox,
Yeah.
last time I just let things happen, we ended up stuck in another world for a month.
I wouldn't call that letting things happen. You needed me to like push you through and call you a coward in order for us to get you through the portal. So
I feel like Joe like picks up a pen and just sort of like tries to scoot the cat away without touching it.
It smacks the pen out of your
the
hand.
cat portals back to where it was.
And Freya leans like closer to you, like gets up on all fours and leans closer to you, and picks up a paw and puts it on your forehead.
Uh
And
oh.
what, I don't know, is a memory or location where Joe has experienced an immeasurable sense of calm and relaxation?
Monument Valley at night.
The like sounds of that area and that feeling of calmness and relaxation washes over you like you're experiencing a sense.
Oh my god. Freya invented ASMR.
God.
It's all coming together.
Connected the dots.
I definitely feel like there's sort of a weird expression on Joe's face. And then
Roxy ignores the fact that he looks confused. She just is like packing her stuff, getting ready to go
I think
see Henry.
if Freya allows it, he starts petting her.
I just don't
That's
feel like
fine.
Hecate.
So,
I don't get those vibes from Hecate.
I'll be
More-
perfectly honest with you. I do not think it is her.
I don't get the
believe that in my
megalomaniac.
soul.
I feel like I would get the megalomaniac vibes from Hecate by now if she was a megalomaniac, but she's not a megalomaniac, I don't think. And she's so smart. She would have already taken this town over like a decade ago. Like, she's very smart. She's very
Rox,
rich.
Rox, I'm
And
not
she's very
disagreeing.
powerful.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Rox, but the fact of the matter is that the one trait we know about the Alpha is that they are extremely careful.
The one thing that I know about you is that you're extremely paranoid that everybody's a werewolf.
Can you blame me after what's been happening for the past couple of years?
When you feel like it's over and nothing else matters, I know you feel so divided. Pick yourself up again and you better start walk, girl. Open up your step, hear you talk, girl. You have come too far to give it up now, even though it seems there's no way out. Take a look in the mirror. you move, there's nothing left to prove. I know that you will find your love again. Don't be ashamed to cry. Hold your head up high. I know that love will save the day. When you feel like you're stranded at the edge of the world, I know you've been taken for granted. Give some love to yourself, and you better start walk, girl. Open up, just let me hear you talk, girl. You have come too far to give it up now. Even though it seems there's no way out. Take a look in the mirror now, what do you see? You can be anything you want to be.
Make you fall onto the ground. But I know you will turn it around. Oh, this is all we got. And I know you'll make mistakes. Get interference and lose your way. Find the light when it rains. Oh, this is all we got. Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. 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 Show me love. Show me life. Show me love. This is all we got.
Like,
Wow.
apparently
Yes.
porcupines love physical contact.
Yeah. Yep.
So morning comes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I will say I don't know if this would necessarily happen in the middle of the night, but maybe early in the early hours of the morning. Sylvie, you feel a disturbance of the force, basically.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
And maybe like nearby or in your pocket, feel a couple more scrolls.
Oh god.
Nothing could possibly be wrong.
You've got mail.
Does this disturbance seem like, well, I think Sylvie will open them up and read them to make sure it's nothing that is like an urgent summons.
The first one is from the lead huntsman. And he wants you to gather as much information about what you mentioned as possible within the next fortnight, and send word back as to what you know. If you're unable to complete the recon in a timely manner, a special team will be sent to investigate further. And the main goal is to potentially capture this individual. An actual decision will be made once they have more information.
Okay.
And the other one is from your right hand. And they want you to meet them in a garden. You know the one,
Hmm.
back in the Fey realm, to talk.
Lovely. Immediately?
There's
None of this seems problematic at all.
there's no
It's
sense of
fine.
urgency, but very much like they aren't going to gather information or give you any information until this meeting happens.
Hmm.
So
Fair.
basically, you can set the timeline of the meeting. It just they're not going to do anything for you until.
Sylvia's
Like
not
that.
going to run off without informing the team. She's learned. But that she'll
That will literally break a hole in reality to find you. Yeah.
Speaking of holes in reality,
Void. The void.
The void.
I also feel like the whole an elite team might be sent out to deal with this if you don't. It's
Not
something
ideal.
that needs to be on Cynthia's radar.
yes,
It
please.
sounds really
Give
important,
the
honestly.
coordinates of the wolf pack. Let problem be
But
sort
seeing
each
as
other
there's
out.
no immediate threat and the part like as far as she knows, the girls do need some sleep at some point.
Yeah,
let's
sleep is
see.
for the weak.
As far as she knows.
Yeah, but I don't know when you're gonna get sleep next. So if you're sleeping right now, I'm not gonna wake you up.
She might be.
I think that there's a good chance that you are all sleeping when this happens. So.
Then I will wait until morning and
It's
broach it
morning, Sylvie
over
problem.
a cup of strawberry flavored coffee.
My God.
I'd say probably Joe, Tony, and the other Roxy. They're not up like at the crack of dawn to leave, but they don't necessarily sit and wait around. So
I think Joe, just as a reflex, is just because he's trained himself to start every day with some sort of exercise.
okay, just doing like push-ups or whatever in
Yep.
in the middle of the living room. Yeah, but you can get like going later. So the rest of the team has some time in the base to wake up and
I
chat.
don't think
if you would like
Sylvie
to.
slept much last night and probably tells the plants to brew extra strong strawberry coffee.
I thought we
And I
established you
think
don't sleep.
you all
She sleeps some. It's just I believe we
I
established
think she
less than
sleeps
humans.
as needed.
Okay.
We
When
didn't
she
necessarily
when she feels like it.
which yeah. It might be like once every couple months she needs to actually sleep,
The
but
full moon, she needs
she
to
probably
sleep.
sleeps a little more than that. But she's probably sitting wide awake with the scrolls laid out on some surface in front of her, looking at them very apprehensively when you all wake up.
Freya's just sitting next to you.
And the fact that Sylvie has not jumped away from Freya in a nervous twitch says a lot.
Good morning.
To maybe a
Good.
certain definition of good.
Bad morning?
Are you feeling a little anxious this morning?
Just
How much
Morgan.
coffee have you drank? You know, that can really impact your anxiety if you drink too much.
Coffee's for you three. We have some things to discuss regarding certain developments that happen in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What do you do while we sleep?
It depends on the night.
Okay. moves
Exchange
on.
gardening tips with Uncle Polly. Who knows? Dr. Hecate.
Paul Hecate at 4 a.m.
Yes. Explain what blue tastes like.
Call Hecate, do some crimes, watch you sleep.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Just normal things.
I may have heard back from my contacts
Ah,
regarding a certain canine problem.
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
werewolf infestation.
That's one way to put it, I suppose.
One is
That's a better way to put it.
concerningly intrigued
Mm,
to the
don't love
point
that.
of requesting information within the next 14 days. And if it is not satisfactory, an elite team will be dispatched for recapture.
So they didn't give you anything useful, but
Or
they expect
capture.
you to give them useful stuff. They don't understand how the barter
And-
system works, do they?
Would capture you or the werewolf?
I assumed the werewolf.
Which werewolf?
I would assume the alpha.
They want us to
Yes.
capture and give them the werewolf.
No, they just want information as of this point.
Well, we're
Hey.
already trying to give information. What do they want this information for?
If they take the alpha, that's one less problem.
I mean, if they want to deal with the alpha so we don't have to deal with them, that does save us some time and some energy.
For me, it's kind of more of a I'd like to see this happen as a how about you two fight each other situation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it would go poorly for us for some sort of unforeseen
I
consequence.
have questions
you
regarding
mean?
future consequences if said alpha ends up
How many days do we have?
14.
Fortnite.
The
Okay,
other
that's doable. I mean, like, we just got to find him, and then if Freya could create a portal, then we can just chuck him in the portal and be like, here's the information, bye.
the other complication is my other contact requested a meeting
Okay,
before
who they?
anything can be done.
Who they? And what do they want?
And their meeting.
They are a potential resource that we could use to gather information from the Fey world. They're less high up than the Lord of the Hunt, who is the first contact.
The one who was asking for
Information.
Is he missing a hound though? Like, I feel like, did anybody ask him if he's missing one of his hounds? Is that what? Is that maybe where the alpha came from? Is that a thing? Is he missing one of his hounds from the hunt?
I
Legal
have
rogue.
questions regarding the Alpha and its relation to the Fae. Specifically, there may or may not be either influence there or a hatred there, judging
Yes,
by
so-
what we've
Both.
learned about
Portal, chuck
what
him
they
in,
hunt.
and then one of the problems is going to take care of the other problem. It'll be like a problem, right? Like
I
that.
don't
Is that a
think it's
plan?
easy.
chain of
Ah,
problem
damn.
solving.
Damn.
But the second contact could potentially help us with scouting and
That would be
infiltration
helpful.
of certain sectors. However, that one has a more ambiguous standing in regards to myself.
So plan B, we set the sleeper people on the alpha.
Maybe.
Somebody's problem needs to take out somebody else's problems. I feel like we've got too many that we have to deal with ourselves. I'd like some of them to resolve each other.
I also like that, but I don't want to rely on it in case it doesn't work out that way.
That's fair. That's fair. I
Well-
just feel like it would be convenient right now.
Well, it would be, but it's
We could,
also...
I guess, share the information we get out of.
Are they gonna do bad things with the information? Like,
They're they are your definition of good and bad is
Morally everywhere.
yeah.
How
are
about
humans gonna
leaving
be
aside morality, could you speculate on the motives of the Lord of the Hunt?
It's potential they could learn from that Alpha is in fact human, from how a human can replicate our own abilities in certain aspects, or gift abilities, as it has been shown. Or it could be, if it is more of the along the lines of this Alpha is someone who stole from us or got away from a Fey deal in a better light, or somehow angered my people. Capture by the Fey would not necessarily equate to a pleasant scenario for them, to my understanding. If it's knowledge based that they want, or power based, this individual could benefit. If it is revenge based or taking out a threat, this individual is not looking at good future prospects. However, there's also the fact that a team will be sent out if we don't provide sufficient information, and that could be a very big problem
that's
for us.
concerning.
Do we have any metrics for what sufficient information would entail?
Charlie, do I have knowledge of what the huntsman would want based off of previous experience?
Obviously not an entire catalog of information, since it's largely recon, and I mean, even with the hunt, it's impossible to get all the information without going in.
Engaging.
Without engaging. So you could largely expect he would want, on some level, knowledge of the Alpha's powers, their influence, their goals, level of like intelligence and cunning, those kinds of things.
Can we just draw a diagram now about what we already know and then just send that and then be done with it?
The other question is, how much do we want to disclose of anything extraneous?
I think you just give exactly what they asked for.
No more, no less.
Yeah.
I suppose the problem is we don't have exact specifics on what was asked for. We just have what they probably want.
What if we just give some basic information, like his goal is Halcyon domination, and he seems to have power over
to word things creatively if we are trying to eliminate information. Recon and infiltration were specifically what I was trained in. So therefore, it is what is expected of me. And therefore, if we're trying to hide information, I previously would not necessarily have had qualms of keeping it to myself.
I mean, why don't you just test him by giving some information, enough like that you feel like it would be sufficient, but not give so much that we give everything away, you know? Like, I'm not very good at this infiltration and stuff like that. I'm more of a demolition gal myself. Maybe negotiation. I could probably negotiate.
Maybe. I agree with Sylvie on this. I think that we should carefully consider what we share and do not.
Okay.
But at the same time, isn't creative wording, something of a go-to among the Fae?
It is. So it's just making it creative enough that it doesn't appear that we are slighting them of any information.
No, that makes sense. Well, we need the information first before we can decide what we do and don't share, and how
That's
we do
fair.
and don't share it.
Well, Roscoe's
I-
gonna get some for us.
Preemptively, I
Mhm.
would prefer to do what we can to not bring Joe into that particular information that is given, but considering Thistle is looking for him apparently in terms of getting a champion, I don't know how feasible
I
that is.
have not, to this point, and Charlie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, brought any specific individuals beyond the alpha to the attention of my people.
Well,
That
so
you know,
like
because this is the first time you've written back. So
Yes.
I think that yeah, we're gonna have to not disclose some stuff to Joe, which feels icky because I just got done telling him that it's best to be honest. But also he's a little bit of a liability. And I expect that if there's information that would be not good for me to have, given that I might have a sleeper agent stuff, that you would probably have to keep that for my own safety. So
For the record, I wasn't suggesting we keep information from Joe. I was suggesting we keep information about Joe from.
oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like because of
The other way
he
around.
can't have all the information because the alpha might have powers over him to make him tell us stuff or
Is that-
tell him stuff.
It's more I don't know what the hunt's
50-50.
interest in him is, given I don't have a good understanding of factions within Fae politics.
However,
Yeah.
I have no
Thistle was
understanding.
not directly related to the hunt either.
This is something Cynthia did not know.
Oh, so we definitely clarified.
Apparently, there
Listen,
are other politics
There
in the Fae realm.
is another situation going on in the Fae realm that the hunt is not necessarily connected to, but there are two factions. I have not gone back to see how that faction split is affecting the hunt beyond there might be members that have chosen each faction within it. I don't know where any of my contacts stand. I know Thistle represented one faction and was looking for a champion for their faction.
Sorry, to clarify, this is factions within the hunt, or the hunt is a faction?
The hunt is more of a military force.
Okay.
These are factions within Fae society as a whole.
Whereas the hunt is specifically military. And
Yes.
okay.
Or military and
Ish.
recruitment.
Yeah. Does it
Ish.
have any particular allegiance except for to itself?
Ugh. It shifts, but for the moment, Thistle had no idea where the hunt's allegiance lied.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the explanations.
Yeah, my brain hurts from thinking about politics. Fae politics are hard.
Potentially, do you want me to utilize a secondary contact? It would require going back.
Would they let you? We don't know how long you'd be gone, though.
Yes, that's true.
What's your read on it? Do you think that they could get you information that would be worth whatever cost is exacted? Or extracted?
Would they even let you come back?
The fact that they are willing to hear me out shows they are interested in the price that I am willing to pay.
Concerning, but
Mhm.
potentially useful.
And they are trained in infiltration, similar to myself, if not more so, due to the fact that they have continued their training while I have been absent for as long as I have been.
For what it's worth, I'd be more comfortable with somebody infiltrating the pack as opposed to you. From a personal standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, I'm not sure if I would trust anyone
There
aside
is
from you.
a potential way that they will be trustworthy if we can make the deal sweet enough for them.
Do you know what kind of cost they would ask?
Do they like cookies?
More than likely, it will be the cost of a favor.
Concerningly ambiguous.
Any favor to be like cashed
To be
in at a later
determined
date?
later.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Meaning where they determine?
It's valuable currency.
scary.
Fucking favor trades.
So it's that, or presumably doing the infiltration yourself.
Mhm.
That's a question, not a statement.
Yeah. More than likely. However, that favor could buy us an entire team of our own. Specifically geared for that mission.
Do you think that they'll be able to like portray themselves as lycanthropes? Like, are they able to like? I don't know
think
what.
to answer that, Sylvie shifts into a werewolf.
But like, I guess
Glitter werewolf.
looks at Eugene says like, can you tell the difference between her aside from the glitter?
The
Like, is it different?
yeah, like you're
Well, Sylvie was not able to successfully mimic Mojo's werewolf form, so she's just like a larger wolf, similar to Eugene.
I didn't remember if I actually managed this or
Yeah,
not.
you
thought you
didn't
did,
get the
but I
actual
don't
like
remember.
wolf man form. But Eugene says, I mean, compared to two of us, appearances wise, it's pretty spot on. But the main concern is going to be how well this pack knows the sense of its members. Because if werewolves show up
Yeah.
that don't smell familiar,
Yeah,
that'll alert them right away.
that's what I was gonna ask. Like, looking is just that's only
One thing, but
one
the smell-
part of it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
and
the
maybe
smell.
maybe
And
one of them
Behavior.
There could also be other aspects of
one
control
of
and recognition the alpha has that we don't know about.
Yeah, like if he has like some
There's
sort of
the
telepathic
cell.
bond.
It would
Yeah.
be the mark that Alpha leaves when touching
Mhm.
their individual pack mates.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
mark
my
that
only
we
concern.
see Joe bearing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Plus,
how.
they're gonna need one of those weird mask things.
Having whether they infiltrate or you infiltrate, that seems like a problem we have to deal with either way.
Yeah, because they're gonna need a
Yes.
mask, and that. Well, blindside could at least like shadow your scent so that at least they wouldn't smell a weird wolf. If it's a big gathering, they might not notice that there's somebody else there. But I don't know what the telepathic, we need to assess what the telepathic bond, if any, exists, and if that will tip them off, and how many people could blindside,
Maybe
Like, how
when
many-
Joe gets back, could you root around in head to see if there's anything?
poke around in his brain a little, no biggie.
To see if
I'm
there's
sure.
there's
He
like
would
like
absolutely
fucking love
adore
that.
like
that.
Roxy's callback code. You just
Yeah,
have
I
to
think
find
Joe is a little more sensitive about having people poke in his brain than I am, but you know, it's fine.
the worst thing he does say no.
That's true. Yeah, can at least address it with him and see if he's willing to let you poke around in there. I think he has at
Or
least
maybe
some trust for you.
friend Rock Roxo maybe. Or
Roscoe, yeah.
his other friend that we have yet to meet.
Growl.
Um,
Growl.
Cynthia, your communicator starts to ring.
I pull it out and just look, see
Oh.
who it is.
Well, it wouldn't tell you.
Okay.
But
It's
the
not a
bye bye
pager.
bye ringtone
Nope,
is
it's-
on, so we can't answer it
it's not a
because we're
pager.
just all dancing.
Mhm.
Bye, bye, bye.
There is no caller ID.
Dang.
Okay, Echo?
Joe, what do you say?
Watchdog reporting in. Morning.
Good morning. How are things?
Relatively okay.
Speak of their Hund und he appear.
Well, I'll take relatively okay over anything else.
Yeah. Where are we going?
I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that one a little.
I mean, do they just go back to their house? Do we have a safe house we can put them in, or?
That's up to them. We have safe houses. They can go back to theirs.
Should it be up to them? I mean, given everything that's going on.
Hmm.
Like, I'm following your lead on this one because you know more about what's going on than I do, but
Can't. I won't make them do something they don't want to do.
okay. And in regards to me, then, I guess I should just get back to the base as soon as I can.
I think you should figure out what they want to do and let us know so we can make arrangements, whatever those arrangements are. And once that's taken care of, either we've met you and helped you with that, or you come back here if you've taken care of it by yourself. Which, if it gets complicated, please don't take care of it by yourself.
Yeah. Okay. For reference, they're similar, but Rock's number 2 does smell a bit off.
Off. What do you mean?
I don't know, off. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if you don't have the nose, it's a little hard to describe. It's different, is my point.
So
And
not like off, like she's decomposing or something.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really smelled a dead body before.
Really? Never mind.
Sylvie's like looking and almost a response with I have, but
Well. It's interesting. Off.
I mean, do you want me to stay near her? Like, keep an eye on things? See if the goon squad shows up for her?
Might be worth it. I don't think they're going to. They came after. They would have had several months to come after that Roxy, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They came after our Roxy as soon as we got back.
That was kind of my thought.
If we're
So-
letting Roxy too decide what she wants to do, we have to tell her everything. We can't just let her decide with not all facts.
That's the other part of it.
Maybe we should
I-
all just meet up so that we can just like break the news to her. Hey, there's two of us. Nice to meet ya.
I don't know if telling her anything is a good idea. If she's a sleeper agent, if she's some sort of clone with reporting capabilities.
Well, you
There's
should at
the-
least try the
That's true.
phrase on her to see if it works.
It's worth a shot.
Maybe I'll skedaddle and go somewhere else.
I mean, I
Ah.
don't know the phrase.
I'm not saying it right here.
Yeah, they can't say it while I'm around because
Yeah,
then
good
I'll
point.
go.
That's a good point.
I'd rather have the rest of us there so we can do damage control just in case. Because the best option we have right now is floating her so she can't move.
Mm-hmm.
Do we leave Sarah our Roxy with Sarah and Eugene and go for it then?
Could she meet
Uh,
us at the junkyard really quickly? We can try it. And then if she's like, what are you guys doing? You're so weird. We can be like, oh, sorry. You look like someone who is in danger, so just be careful.
I mean,
I
we do that. I can also do a scan
Mm-hmm.
and
We
see
go in
if there's
costume,
anything
she's just gonna think
unusual
we're
with
helpful
her.
supers.
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys
not
should at
going,
least
I'm not
examine
going
her.
civilian.
Yeah, you guys
Okay.
should at least examine her to figure out, like, if she poses a threat, whatever else, if there's anything else weird about her. You know, it might not be that she's. I mean, does she smell off, or like, does she just smell like me but slightly different? Is that what you mean by like off?
Y'all can't see it through the communicator, obviously, but Joe's just kind of going like,
Is it a slightly different variation of my own scent, or is it a completely like she smells wrong, like not like how a human should smell?
GM.
Slightly
I presume
different.
she smells human.
Yeah, she smells human.
I mean, she smells like a human person. I mean, if you're asking if it's a Sylvie situation, it's not. She doesn't smell like anything super different, but
I mean, that is a valid concern, and I'm glad you can confirm that that was not what we're dealing with.
Changelings, fuck.
so
Fey infestation and a werewolf infestation. What the fuck?
Don't give the GM ideas.
so I guess she's just smells like a different version of you, but
Less
like,
electric? Do I smell more like blue? Oh, you weren't there when Sylvie was telling us what blue tastes like. Or yeah. All right. So do I smell more electric than her? Like a spark of power in me versus like not a spark of power? Because that might be the big
Rox,
difference.
I really don't know.
I feel like you got to get better at these complex scents, man.
Having the
It's not the
nose.
time for this.
Okay. Well, anyways,
How about you try describing the difference between two different colors without using their names? Jeez.
sure. That one's more angry than that one.
Listen. Okay.
Okay, but if we're looking to like test her somehow without making it too obvious, do you want me to arrange something then? Because I can just like take them to lunch at some place we decide on.
Like the Mexican restaurant we own, Elena owns.
I
Wait, what?
would agree.
That
Long story. That could work. You have them do that. We stand by just in case, and hopefully nothing happens. But if it does, we have a safety net.
Okay.
I will separately tell you what the activation phrase is when it can't potentially set Roxy off here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I just go switch the communicators with Grandpa Les. Elena, do you want to come see Grandpa Les?
sure.
I can pheromone if stuff goes south. So
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Sure. Let's just go do that so you can tell him the word and I don't have to be in the
Um,
vicinity.
Cynthia's gonna give you a hug before you go. Just say, stay safe, please.
She's gonna grab your face and then she's gonna give you a big kiss.
I thought you were gonna squish.
But then
That's what I thought too.
Squish.
Just smush your face.
I feel like Sylvie just says, "Don't do anything." I wouldn't.
That's
No.
a very very short list of things.
I know, but there still is a list.
That's like start a Fey War, and that's like maybe the only thing on that list.
Okay.
We
But if we're
start a war with the werewolves without sufficient information is on that list, though. So
But
if
with
we're
sufficient
gonna-
information, you could.
okay. You can almost like hear on the other end of the line, like gears turning in Joe's head. If we're going to do this in a safe way, we need to be relatively isolated.
Agreed.
Someplace that you
Picnic.
guys can get close without raising too much suspicion.
I mean, that's a fair point. A picnic could
Junkyard.
work. Junkyard picnic.
I
Why
don't
don't you
have-
wait? Why don't you guys stay out of town and like do it like in the woods somewhere and be like, oh, we're going for a hike and a picnic. It's part of the end of our camping trip.
if he's within communication range, that means he's already within the city.
Just be on the
Mhm.
outskirts of the city then, I guess.
And I mean,
don't
we
know.
already like left a good picnic spot. I don't have the stuff for a picnic. Plus, we probably
You
should
know
figure
that-
this out at some point soon. They're gonna wonder why I'm in the bathroom for so long.
What would you recommend, Joe? You're the one who's on the ground.
We need something. I think we need something high end, something that's gonna have like private rooms.
I can arrange that.
Okay. A place in specific? Address of some kind I can give them?
I need to make some calls, but yeah. Give me an hour.
All right. Do for an hour. Rox, what's your favorite dessert?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I really like gelato. Cannolis are awesome. I really like fudge. Fudge is amazing. Cookies are always a safe bet. Pie. Pie is something great that you can usually get in rural areas. They got great pie out there, out in the outskirts of the cities.
Yeah, I
There's
think
also fruit stands, stuff like that. If you,
You
want
could
something.
just pop a tire and then you'll have to put on a spare. Joe.
I think your brother might kill me if I did that.
That's a fair point.
Tell him
Pop
we'll
it on
pay
your
for it.
car.
They're in his car. They're in
Rox, I didn't
They're in
drive out
Tony's
here.
car. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't drive? Oh, yeah. Well,
Okay.
Tell him Sylvie will pay for it if you pop a tire.
tires. It's fine.
Okay.
He's just having a rough time, okay?
I think
But then if you make him change the tire, that'll at least probably knock like 35 to 40 minutes off. And then you can be like, I gotta pee again. And that can knock off another 15 minutes.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I think I'll tell him, let's head to Feel Good Repairs, drop off the stuff, get changed and showered. I think that should roughly be 30, 45 minutes. And then hopefully by then you can tell me where we're headed.
Sure.
All right.
I'll keep you updated.
So I don't get to meet other Roxy. Is that what we're saying?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet, Rox.
I was very excited to meet myself.
I'd like to make sure the code that we have for you doesn't activate her first.
Fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate your patience. I really do.
You should probably give Elena some sort of sedative to give me, though, just in case when you say it over there that it activates me, because hearing didn't seem to be a...
Oh, they'd be very far away.
Well,
I feel
I
like
don't
if
know.
it could activate you anytime, then they would have done it already.
That's fair.
But it's a fair point. Cynthia will go and
I mean, we should just be prepared for any...
I can
possible
just like pick you up and
Or heaven
give
forbid they
give someone a
track
call.
Yeah, you could
her
just
down
float
again.
me for a while.
She
since
is gonna have to go.
Roxy invents
So-
moonwalking while she's trying to get to wherever she's supposed to go.
since one of Cynthia's main abilities remains weapons and gadgets, we are going to go and rifle through the various projects she's got going, and she'll take out like sort of like
Stun gun.
mini. I was gonna say mini trank gun, but
Something like that, yeah. Stun gun, strength gun, whatever.
hand it off to Elena. Back up just in case. I love this.
Roxy's haunted.
Yes.
Side note, that might be really good for our next problem as well regarding a certain infestation of canines.
I think I'd need to. I might not need to adjust the dose if this is already tailored for Roxy.
Yeah, actually, I think that my metabolism might be better than the werewolf metabolism, but we could try.
I'd rather overshoot than undershoot. It's probably not going to kill him.
Nah, it probably won't kill them. It just might make them be out for a while, you know?
I'm gonna
Which-
say right now you're
It's,
not.
it's
allowed
better
cast
to be
this
out
on
for
me.
longer than not.
I'm
long.
kidding. I took a Roxy strength trank dart to the neck and I survived. I'm fine. It'll be fine.
You did, that's true. Did it actually inject in you?
Mm,
Yeah.
a little bit.
It might just be calibrated to my body chemistry.
I
though.
mean, it probably would have
Um,
knocked me out if I got more than like,
Tiny bit, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but I'll arrange things so that we'll be at the location you set. This is not relevant to the immediate situation, but Rox, once we handle this, I want to talk to you at some point. If you got
About
a minute.
what?
Personal things.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna be. I assume that you all don't want me nearby when you're activating other Roxy. I should probably be
Mhm.
far away.
Yeah,
Probably
probably
not.
not.
I don't really think that we should. Maybe we could go check on Leah, but like flying in.
If it's you and Elena over doing something else, I think that Sylvia and I can take care of damage control. I can lift Sylvia's
Yeah.
pheromone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I just got to have a buddy person who can do one or the other or whatever.
Elena can lift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can. Well, she can lift me and then she can shrink me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or drop you.
Whatever.
Can't knock you out. Well, I can knock you out now.
If you
but-
drop me from high enough, you will knock me out.
You could always increase
I meant,
gravity
like,
to the point where you
yeah,
restrict blood
just-
flow until she passes out.
Yeah,
Drop
you
her
could
like
also
that.
increase
Don't do that.
gravity
I
enough
meant-
that I can't walk anywhere.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
You
my
that-
make
plan.
me so heavy that I.
Yeah,
literally-
let's not do
That
this.
runs the risk of brain damage, don't do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair point. Anyways,
That was terrifying. I'm gonna go back up the arms.
yeah.
Also, expedited healing will mean waking up from lack of oxygen to the brain is that much faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, Watchdog signing off.
Bye.
I love how we're all just talking about theoretical brain smashing, and he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" I bet Eugene's just sitting there chilling too, like valid.
He's
Valid.
just drinking some strawberry coffee.
Just
But-
chilling.
For a strong strawberry coffee, but no way.
Oh my God.
So
Practically,
Joe's dysfunction comes from his mother. We've got it.
practically as soon as Joe hangs up, does Cynthia have a separate communicator that is a direct line to Hecate, or does she just use one communicator?
I think she just uses one, but it has different frequencies.
Okay.
But
I'd
If
imagine
you're
there's
looking
some
for-
sort of override. Like,
yeah, no, I think there's like a priority system. Hecate's has top, and then
Yeah.
it's the rest of the team, and
Yeah.
then it's calls from the non-team.
yeah. So, like, pretty much as soon as communication with Joe cuts off, your communicator starts ringing again.
Echo.
Hecate, turn on the TV.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. She's gonna turn on the fucking TV.
Oops.
Shit.
You.
What do we do
I'd
now?
say it's usually like typically you probably keep your TV on the news channel. So
There's a few different TVs on a few different. Actually, there's only like 3 news channels at this point. So,
and there's not that many more other channels.
no.
And footage comes up of there's a small crowd and a platform. You can see City Hall in the background.
Oh no.
Standing on the stage behind a podium is Councilman Evans with a few other councilmen in suits that you recognize, and some other suited individuals who you don't recognize. And there's lots of like excited chatter from the audience, and people already shouting questions that aren't answered. But the news anchor in front of the camera does say, we are here for a press conference that Councilman Evans and a few others have called this morning to discuss some new programs that are going to be enacted over the next few weeks in Halcyon. Stay tuned, they'll be getting started in just a minute. And the reporter kind of steps out of the way so the camera can focus in on the stage. And a few other minutes pass before Mr. Evans steps up behind the podium and like raises his hands to calm down the flurry of questions that come from everybody else. And he says, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know this is bright and early for many of you, but we're excited that you can be here and excited to announce some new developments that our esteemed council members have been working on. As you all know, Halcyon is a very highly superpowered city. We have a number of superheroes as well as supervillains who have brought destruction and chaos onto this wonderful town of ours, and we would like to frankly do something about it, since it often seems like these superpowered fights leave the regular individuals among our population at a loss due to damages, injuries, and the general havoc and stress of living in such tumultuous times. That is not Mr. Evans. That is me not being able to talk.
Roxy's like, so move, you idiot. She's screaming at the TV.
As such, we have decided to partner with a very esteemed philanthropic organization named Normal to help curb the superpowered activity within Halcyon City and make sure everyone has the right to live and flourish within its boundaries. Our first step is to compile a superpowered registry where all powered individuals must register themselves with the city, as well as list their designated power set. We are mandating everyone with powers to come to City Hall within business hours and register within the next 30 days. Failure to do so could result in some strong disciplinary measures once we get beyond that point. I'll now be taking questions from any reporters, and there's a flurry of questions as reporters begin asking what brought this on. Many of them had not heard of Normal, so they're trying to get extra details, how long they've been working on this partnership, what they expect future plans to look like. And as you would kind of expect, most of the answers to that are very much like
Elena, I have a
positive
new-
buzzwords and vague answers that don't give
Mhm.
much detail.
Elena, I have a new place for us to go this morning.
The TV
City
explodes.
Hall.
I feel like somebody should speak out against you and against your father.
Glass just shatters across the floor.
What?
It
The
explodes.
TV explodes.
She blew
Cynthia
up the
just
TV.
exploded the
Yep.
TV.
Yep.
She starts and she says, "Motherfucker," and then he storms off swearing. I don't think you've heard her swear this much ever, and she swears a lot.
Sarah in the
Do you
background.
want me to move his car somewhere?
I think
He's-
we are moving
he's gone.
beyond moving cars.
Yeah, I think
We are no longer resorting to petty vandalism.
we are making a very
Now we resort to felonies. We kidnap him.
yes. However, I do think for the
I really do
moment
love
we
how you
need
think.
to
I was thinking
focus. I mean, honestly, I have what I would standardly do in this situation. But I don't think that's necessarily
Sylvie,
looked well upon.
you can change your appearance to other humans, can't you?
Yes.
Destroy him by making you look like him and then show you using powers. Destroy
I
his
don't know if that would
ability.
this. I don't think so, because then he'd be like, "Oh ho, haha! I have powers here. I am registering in the thing." It would just kind of add credibility
I
to
think
like
we need
his
to
whole thing.
I think Cynthia needs to have some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we wait to act because acting in anger without a plan as of this moment is going to make us look bad, as well as most of the superhero populace. And we have some pressing issues that we wanted to figure out today. I don't know if how that's going to play out right now. But we can't jump in and be drastic.
Yeah, but
in
we
our
should be able to
reactions.
go and ask him questions about why is this just like Nazi Germany that just happened like a fucking second ago.
Yeah.
why
we
you
should.
going to be Hitler number 2, sir?
However,
I didn't ask for these powers.
I want you to have backup if you do this, both of you hidden, so you have
It
an
would be a
escape
peaceful
plan.
protest. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think these people do
This is-
peaceful. in
That's
their
okay. They can
response.
come at me, bruh. Cracks knuckles.
But
But
they
what if
also are
they know your
fully
activation
prepared.
code? What if he is in on the
for-
whole thing and he can just
I'm not going as
Tune you
Roxy.
on.
I'm going as Calamity.
I think they're prepared for extreme superhero response, though,
yeah,
and that's the problem.
and they're
But
going
if
to
they
pick
do that on
the
camera in public, then that makes them proves that they are.
not if you word
Hi,
it
Roxy,
Roxy,
differently.
remember what we talked about with the Fae and twisting words to
They
make
just
it
show-
sound better?
I'm sure, but like if he's there and they're gonna do it on camera, then that is going to be harmful because
But it
it's
should
going to
be
show
on
that
both
he
sides.
is just
and
the same
cut.
as.
Cut at certain time, pay the news people to say otherwise, and most people are going to believe what
Isn't
they see
Jim
and
richer
hear.
than Cynthia's dad? Can't we just buy the news?
It's actually a fair point. But
Oh, Elena's like, oh, that's. You know what? Let's go do that this morning. Can't we just buy the news station? Like, we could just buy it, right?
Influencing the news.
But then we would be no better than them if we tried to skew the news the other way.
Well, can't we just balance it?
We can try, but there's more than one news organization in town.
I mean, because you're not known as like your civilian persona is not known to be a superhero, so
No,
there would be no connection between you. Easy
not for
Living,
another 30 days when they make everybody register. Because I feel the
fucking
feeling,
registering.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they are going to go and collect people.
However,
And at
we
first it will
know-
be the big heroes, whoever they can convince.
So our plan B
bribe
is,
or
is kidnapping
blackmail.
him, right? Is that our plan B then?
Mhm.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's the wise plan to do right now because it'll frame us as villains. Right now, I think
That's why I'm saying we make him look like a villain.
Right now we have to deal with
we have so much to deal with, and I don't
two
know the proper.
Roxys. I think
There's literally nothing for me to do this morning, so why don't I just go deal with John?
we have to go talk to Grandpa Les.
I just gotta switch communicators.
Why don't you? You know what? Go
Should I
ask
ask his-
Grandpa Les what the proper response in this situation is.
Bad idea. I bet
Because he has a fair amount of ideas about how to spin
Mhm.
things.
Yeah, he's
That's
very
not
good
a
at
bad
that.
idea. We should go
Dealing
ask him about
with-
that.
The loopholes in laws. I'm going to both contact Hecate and Watchdog about the current situation.
Well,
What if-
technically,
Hear me out
technically,
here. What
Watchdog
if
is
we-
magic. That is very
No,
different.
I mean, I think Watchdog needs to know we're going to be a little
Oh, yeah.
late.
And also is that the whole city it might be on fire.
Well, I was gonna say, what
and-
if we steal the registry and then
we
they
can
don't have
do
a
that.
registry anymore?
They're going to have
I think
multiple
I might be
copies.
pulling in a certain infiltration team at some point.
Can they
I-
infiltrate the government and steal the registry?
I don't think you want me to answer that question because
We
it
go
brings into
Fight
concerns
Club on the
security
credit
of
card co-
the government.
On the registries, we go Fight Club and just blow up the registries.
Okay.
Fight Club
For
hasn't
now,
happened yet.
No stealing.
We just invented
no
Fight Club.
murder. No violence. Go talk to Grandpa Les about
Okay.
how to skirt around laws using loopholes. You need a lawyer
Well, I
and
already-
you need someone
they-
smart.
Well,
And-
I can't register because there's already another Roxy DeMarco that doesn't
Yeah.
have powers.
But the rest of us have that concern and we need to figure out how to
Oh,
utilize
they'll still want to
loopholes.
come after Calamity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you two consult with him. I'm gonna call Watchdog and let him know we're gonna be a little late, and then I'm gonna call Hecate and let her know that I'm keeping an eye on Echo.
You turn around and Cynthia's gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to
Yawn.
track her down in a second.
Okay.
Fuck, did she go to see her dad? Because
I don't know.
bad things could be happening. We might need to go there and make sure that she doesn't do anything dramatic.
I think Sylvie's like, I got it, and is like going to like try and track Cynthia at this point.
All
And try
right.
and figure out where she went.
Are you gonna call anyone first, or are you just doing that initially?
I think I'm gonna call Watchdog and say we have a problem. We're gonna be late, and then immediately switch before he can respond. Even I think she switches to Hecate and is like, "I'm on Echo."
I don't know if he does respond because now he's back with
Yeah.
Tony and other Roxy, so he's probably trying to act normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like, I'm going after Echo to Hecate and proceeds with that plan.
After Cynthia left, would she have contacted Hecate again? Or
No.
okay. I think Hecate responds to you, Sylvie, and says, Echo is not typically one to do reckless things. If you find that she is making rash decisions, feel free to intervene. Otherwise, she may just need time to think.
it's time to think, that's fine. I just don't want her making a decision that will eventually harm her in the future. We do not need to add vitriol to the fire right now.
That is correct. We certainly don't. If you do find her making rash choices, let me know where. I will come.
I will. And then I think she hangs up and immediately starts looking for Cynthia because
Okay.
right now this is the most she's seen her angry, and normally Cynthia's the one with the level head, so we have a problem.
Mhm.
All right. You were talking quite a bit, and Cynthia got a little bit of a head start. So, how do you leave, and how do you get where you're going?
Cynthia just took her bag through the tunnels, basically.
Okay.
Screaming.
Just
No.
screaming.
I think once she got to the door of the base, she just took a deep breath and kind of just went blank. Just business.
Okay.
Got in the bike, drove off.
Okay.
Hands a little more tense on the handles than they should be.
That's fair.
They probably grabs a PJ shirt as she's to give to the bike to track.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that and get on the stag and begin to follow. But I'm sure there is, if not a single tunnel, various tunnels that you get you where you're going, so you don't have to go above ground. And you can head into the garage, so to speak. Park
This
your
is a
bike.
vehicle bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just gonna go in.
Okay. Head in through the door and find in a similar situation to what you saw. Hecate is standing in front of a TV. And she will turn to look at you. Say, wasn't entirely expecting you to come here, but
I wasn't sure where else to go. The fuck am I gonna do? I can't. Registry? I shouldn't be surprised. I really shouldn't. And yet.
there's not much more to do other than fight it and resist.
Wow. He's got enough judges in his pockets. I doubt that's gonna work. Getting anything done legitimately in the city is a losing battle from the start. That's why we do this.
Exactly. And we'll use this to maintain that secrecy, that privacy. Sure, they have methods of containing superpowered individuals, but they can't go after everyone at once. And we're all better at running and hiding. It's a temporary solution, but build up enough of a resistance.
I've already got the networks. They'll probably already moving.
The biggest hurdle is going to be building up enough public opinion in our favor. Turn them against the city council So they have to reverse their plans and their judgments.
I think she's fully going for fireside chat right now.
Okay.
With Cynthia's superior, that's a 9.
Okay.
So definitely a +1 ongoing to
see it through if you do it their way.
so like to try to bolster public support for powered people in this case.
Yeah. Public relations.
+1 ongoing to PR. Okay. Can I mark potential now, or would that be a later thing for following advice?
I thought that was only on 10 plus.
Oh, that is true. I did not read that correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Works for me.
So, no potential for you.
I've been trying to slow it down anyways. 'Cause I have yep. Yeah, anyways. I think what Cynthia probably does is like back when she was younger and like first started working with Haggerty, there's this like larger chair that's kind of in front of like the monitor banks, and occasionally just used to kind of sit on Hecate's lap, maybe fall asleep. So she kind of just goes over there and curls up on it and just is like sort of just curls in on herself a little.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of sulking, but also in a I am existentially worried about my continued existence way.
Probably a few seconds pass before Hecate's cape drapes around your shoulders.
Cynthia just pulls it around herself.
And I think it's at this point, Sylvie, you probably enter. There's like a door separating this room from the vehicle bay, so you probably pull into the vehicle bay and see Cynthia's bike as well as a few other bikes and like a car. I'd imagine that Cynthia is probably deep in thought, so she wouldn't really register anything, but Hecate will slip over to the door and slip through to stand in the bay where you are, Sylvie. And she slowly shuts the door behind her. Says, Cynthia's inside.
Is she safe?
Physically, yes. She's very stressed and concerned.
Understandably.
Yes.
What can be done in the moment?
Right now, she needs reassurance and to know she's not alone. She's not taking on this battle herself.
I think Sylvie nods and just immediately then goes and strides in to hug Echo. And she doesn't say anything. She doesn't, like, it's just she hugs her and then holds her for a moment and then gives her space and says, we'll figure it out.
I think you probably surprised her. So like when you hug her, she kind of like jumps a little and just goes really stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And then realizes it's you and kind of just relaxes only like a fraction, but still. Somehow.
And as much as you're our leader, the entire team is here for you.
We've all got our own issues.
Yeah. And it's okay to rely on us with yours.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do though. Like, think about it. How does it look if the guy proposing a fucking registry doesn't have his own family in the registry at all? Either he falsifies details, which wouldn't work because publicly known to have powers, so is my sister, or I don't know. Fucking no.
You don't have to have all the answers right now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need him soon. He's not exactly one to just sit on these things.
He's not. And we'll do our best to be ready for him when he is. But for the moment, just focus on the fact that you have a team that you can rely on, and you have a network that you've already set up.
No, it's
You're not starting from square one.
I know how to deal with threats as Echo. I don't know what to do when they're against Cynthia.
It's
Cynthia has no
hard.
powers. She heals. She doesn't know how to do things. She's just a useless daughter of a rich asshole.
It's not the Cynthia I know.
But it's the Cynthia they know.
So what?
And sometimes any break in character is suspicious. I don't need that coming down on me.
Characters grow.
Not all at once.
No. But they do. And a healer is less of a threat. A healer does good.
My
A
sister's
healer
the
is
healer.
someone a public can rally behind.
Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I think that if I'd actually been good at the healing, maybe I wouldn't have become this. I know that's not how it works, but that's how it feels. Doesn't matter. He just wanted the powers gone in general. I don't know. It's never going to be enough. Doesn't matter what I do, what I am. I don't think he'll be happy till I'm dead. And I don't know how to deal with that.
Blood doesn't necessarily indicate family.
No. It certainly
And-
does not.
And as much as it hurts that he is this way, we'll continue to fight for you, for every super in the city. But for the moment, me, the girls, Watchdog might not fully realize yet, we're focused on you.
I appreciate that. I just,
It's okay not to know.
it's not something I know how to really. I don't know how to not know things. It's not something I'm good at.
Well, you can learn from me.
You have a different skill set.
And I would argue you can learn. Look around, no one knows everything.
That's true.
And we can work on filling those gaps in when you're ready.
No, we will get there. I just,
You're allowed to take time. You're allowed to process.
I'm not used to having the luxury.
Well,
But
we'll make the luxury for you. You would do it for us.
yeah. God, it's so dumb. I want to spray paint the fucking house right now.
It can also be arranged.
I'd have to do it as somebody other than me.
I can arrange that. I can
Sorry.
make you have a very public appearance in an otherwise situation while you have your catharsis.
I might steal your shapeshifting powers for it.
That is allowed. I'm sure we know some individuals who would benefit or who we could borrow their faces.
I'm gonna turn into the mayor.
You're,
It'd be funny.
it would. Occasionally you do need to just embrace the chaos.
I embrace you often enough.
Where is Hecate in this moment?
Imagine you Cynthia says that you're just like, oh shit, and look over your shoulder. I mean, you don't see Hecate.
Like
Damn,
mom,
that was
there's
smooth.
mom.
No, I know. We'll figure it out. I just need to process.
Be patient with yourself. Processing isn't easy, but you're not alone.
I just need to remind myself that it's not the way that it was. Though I'd be lying if I said that this kind of thing didn't bring me back to fucking normal. Of course. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We will.
Okay. And she's gonna get up, and she's still like very much like holding Hecate's cape kind of just around her.
I think Sylvie might grow a little vine so it can have there's an extra secure little tie for her.
That's adorable.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna, I guess Rox and Elaine are doing their thing and we're meeting Joe and company, so.
Are you ready for that? Or do you want to stay here?
Ready? No. But we're on the clock.
And I told you processing was a luxury you had. I can
And
take this.
All right. And she'll give Sylvie the information for the high-end restaurant she was going to contact, given that Sylvie, I think that Cynthia knows that Sylvie has some contacts in high society at
Yes.
the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
you-
Yeah, so she's
I
gonna give her
mean,
that information.
She knows Natalie.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
And just the general details, and then Cynthia knows the area not like super well, but she's been there, so she has a good idea of like where the good vantage points would be.
Mhm. Sylvia will take that and immediately start calling, and she'll make sure Echo is firmly in a safe environment, comfy environment, and then
I think it's
start calling.
kind of one of those things where if she's like, I don't know, sitting somewhere calling, Cynthia's probably just like sitting next to her, just leaning against her shoulder.
Okay.
Kind of like, I don't want to deal with this right now, so I'm just gonna lean on my girlfriend.
Yeah.
okay.
Fair.
And Sylvie can call and probably with the help of Natalie, make some arrangements. And that is going on. The camera pans out, and we see Hecate with her arms crossed, leaning against the wall next to the door separating the main part of the base and the vehicle bay, just listening. I will say, probably as you're moving through the city, Joe in the car flipping, Tony would probably flip through some stations, or there'd be some interruption over the radio with the news of the press conference that transpired. So you would pick up on that information at least.
At some point, Cynthia is probably waiting for a call from Joe to relay the information for Roxy's activation words.
I feel like as we're riding in the car, this broadcast comes over.
It's more relaying the information from the press cons rather than a direct broadcast. So you're not hearing everything
Gotcha.
from you're not hearing everything in John Evans's words. It's just, this is what was announced today and the expectations in the coming weeks.
I definitely feel like Joe gives a glance to Tony.
Probably see his grip tighten on the wheel.
Mentally, Joe is like, okay, so Cynthia is going to be volatile when I get back to the base for extremely good reasons. But this is something that we will have to deal with later, again. So for now, I think Joe intentionally is like trying to play up that he's being a little vague, assuming that Cynthia is going to get him to like a nice restaurant that he can like surprise them with, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's like, okay, let's get to Feel Good Repairs, get changed. I can, I don't know, borrow some of Tony's nicer clothes. And as that's all going on, he'll like steal away to a corner of the shop and finally answer his comm, which now that he looks at it, he sees like it's been binged a number of times and he's like, oh boy. And he'll switch it to Echo. Watchdog here.
She just matter-of-factly gives him the information for the restaurant that Sylvie set up. I have the code whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'll take it in a second here. I heard on the radio. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say you're not okay.
Bingo. There's
One
nothing
problem
I
at a
can
time,
do
right?
about it in this moment.
Yeah, one
And
problem at a time.
that's incredibly frustrating to me. You ready?
Ready.
Unit 5214. Conduct Protocol Omega 14.
I'm actually going to write this down real quick.
I mean, I
Unit
hope. Yeah, that's what I wrote down from what Charlie said. So.
I was about to say we've all
5, 2,
gotten it
1,
written down at this point. I think.
Conduct protocol Omega 13.
14.
14.
Protocol Omega 3 is making an omelet.
Joe writes it down on like a piece of scrap paper, then like rips it off and stuffs it in his pocket.
Okay.
Okay. And Cynthia,
Yes.
we're gonna fix this too, okay?
So I've been told. One
I
step
think
at a time.
Sylvie gives Cynthia a squeeze when she hears that come over the radio.
All right. Meet you there. Watchdog out.
I go out.
And as Joe clicks off the communicator, you hear, "I miss one night."
I
And
guess you just gotta stick around Halcyon for good luck at this
Yeah.
point.
with stop ditching the party. With that, we can go ahead and go to our end of session questions.
I was gonna say before on the way to Grandpa Les's, Roxy actually takes a detour through the warehouse district, and as she's riding through, she's screaming "Rampage!" at the top of her
No.
phone.
Noted.
In fairness, we are also in our super suits. 'Cause
Yes, we
At
are
least
in our
it- okay.
we cannot go anywhere in public.
Yeah,
well, Elena
Roxy's
still can,
literally just wearing her
but
super suit all the time at this
Roxy
point.
cannot go anywhere without being.
She's
in
not allowed to
costume.
go anywhere without a mask at this
And
point.
no one else is going to go with her without a costume because that
Yeah.
was silly.
Well, yeah, because they attacked us in civilian wear. So the new rule is anywhere they go with Roxy, costumes are required.
Also, with these new rules that the city wants to play with, I'm just gonna wear my costume all the time. I'm not a real person. Ooh, I'm from space.
Like Sylvie's not gonna just run around the city as an animal this entire rest of the
Fuck that! Take the mayor's face.
Yes. We all turn into the mayor.
Is Sylvie just gonna be brushing up on her shapeshifting into other people? Maybe.
I know. I was gonna say Cynthia and Sylvie can. I don't know. Roxy might be thinking in her head that it might be time to go visit the mayor and remind him that a superpowered individual saved his daughter's life.
I do remember this is largely being driven by the city council.
Yeah, but the mayor
Yeah.
can veto their shit.
Well, we don't know how the political structure is set up
Yeah.
in Halcyon.
Oh, I
Plus, we don't know
guess.
who's being mind controlled.
That too. It is Halcyon after all.
I'm
Or
gonna have to
blackmail.
recalibrate all these motherfuckers after I recalibrate my own self.
Is Sylvie potentially thinking, hey, an infiltration team on my side might be worth having right now?
Fuck the price.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Roxy's last scene is just yelling Rampage because she knows that Rampage is going to fucking kill someone.
Certainly put a wrinkle.
We
in
can pick up there next week.
things.
Elena's
Yeah.
letting her get it out of her system.
Also,
Anyway.
Joe stole Tony's suits as well. So it's not just Sylvie anymore.
Cynthia's thinking about events in the city's past and
Is angry about it.
how things might have gone differently. No, end of session questions.
Yes.
Probably not a huge surprise. Cynthia's going to do grow closer to the team, specifically Sylvie, because of the pep talk, which I'm not 100% sure how much Cynthia is buying into it at the moment. Part of it might be I'm saying yes to this because it would be awkward if I didn't. But she's grappling with a lot of emotions right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Sylvie's like, I don't really want you in the city grappling with all of these emotions, so
I mean, that's probably a smart move because I wouldn't say that Echo has anger management problems, but if you push her far enough.
yeah, I think we're pushing up on that far.
Yeah.
We're reaching the
All
limit.
right. Sylvie does have influence over Cynthia.
Yes. Misplaced my pencil, so ignore me looking wildly around my surroundings.
Did Captain steal it?
It's possible. He's
I
sitting next to me
think-
and licking himself right now, though, so.
I'm gonna shift Cynthia's mundane up and Savior down because she's looking more like, or she's superior, like she showed vulnerability, but because she currently, at least what Sylvie got from that was she currently doesn't see herself as being able to fix this and isn't acting like she is a savior in this situation. And
I think that's fair.
Sylvie recognizes that she kind of still she wants to be just Cynthia, a normal person in this situation, and not feel like a freak like her dad's making her feel. At least from what Sylvie's seeing.
I think that's broadly on point.
Yeah.
There's some nuances, but
Yeah. Is Sylvie aware of these nuances? No.
Cynthia has an interesting relationship with herself as Cynthia versus herself as Echo.
Mhm. I definitely saw that.
Hi. I don't know if the camera picked or the mic picked it up, but he is screaming a little bit.
Yeah, Sparrow's been screaming on and off this entire time.
Yes.
Screaming.
I
Just
think
yelling.
I like Blondie's scream because she sounds like an old lady.
She is an old lady.
I think I can go next here. As much as I want to justify grow closer to the team, I feel like Joe being off screen for the vast majority of this episode would not indicate growing closer.
Yeah.
So I think I will go ahead and say grow into my own image here. And he's probably feeling less superhero, more super nanny at the moment. So I think we will shift. We'll say superior down, mundane up. Because he's just feeling like, well, everyday normal Joe lately. At least in this day.
I think I'll go next. And can I say group closer to the team, specifically Grandpa Les in this situation, because Sylvie finally recognized that Grandpa Les does have
Some wisdom.
some wisdom to have.
Grandpa Les being an adult automatically has influence over you. So
Oh, he gets to shift you.
Let's see. Mundane up and freak down.
That a shift we can do.
Yes, it is a shift you can do. It's the exact opposite of what Hecate did.
Meh.
Different perspectives.
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
show. Very different people too.
Yep.
Both got a lot of chill though.
I don't know. How could he let me like just barge into her sanctum? So
There were
Extenuating
emotions in there though,
circumstances.
so she was
Yeah.
like, "Thank God someone else is here to deal with these."
I feel they were Echo's emotions. She would deal with those.
yeah. Where were Sylvie's emotions barging in? Then it would be a problem. But
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Hecate-
Hecate isn't the most warm and fuzzy, you know?
I
She
was
did
fully
also
ready.
know Cynthia from the age of 10 to the age
Yeah.
of something like 20
Yeah.
right now. So
Yeah.
she dealt with the whole of her teenage
A
years.
lot
Yeah.
of those
Yeah.
I
emotions.
was gonna clear Afraid, but that little news
Mhm.
bit did not clear Afraid whatsoever.
That's fine.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna grow closer into my own image. Just kind of backseat day for Elena. Just kind of hanging out with everybody. So and still kind of feeling insecure about the whole accidentally blowing everything up last time.
Oh.
So we're
Aw.
gonna shift Savior down and Danger up.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Danger.
It's fine. I have a feeling you guys are about to do crime, so danger up makes sense.
Not a possibility.
Sylvie has the brain
okay?
cell.
Sylvie has the brain cell this week,
Uh-huh.
so we're fucked.
It's
Oh
fine.
Even
no.
now, we're going to buy a whole ass news station, so you never know with us. We could do crime and buy a news station. Who knows?
A lot of
Yes.
things could happen.
Buy a news station to cover your crime.
Yeah.
Well, if we buy a news station, then they can cover our superhero team and watch us do all the good shit that we do.
Like
sure-
like that anime Tiger and Bunny.
Something
I am
something propaganda.
Yes.
I'm sure the DeMarco family, extended family, would love the fact that you also have control of the media.
My bonuses are all
The
0
solution
except
is
for Freak, which is at a 3.
Eh,
The solution is you marry a bunch of rich ladies.
I mean,
That's what Roxy's solution is to this. Is you have just so much money that you could buy a whole fucking news station.
I'm suddenly sitting here thinking that Sam's offer to Joe might be more valuable than Joe realizes, because it would be pretty fantastic for us to have a public team of some kind be in good graces with someone with some oomph behind him.
Well, yeah, Sam could probably. I mean, that's what Roxy's doing now in her head is gathering all their resources that they can call on to start putting out propaganda. Yes, propaganda. Name.
Might Sylvie start doing like little
For the
pheromone
good.
bombs whenever this team's out so people associate them with good feelings?
oh my.
We're just gonna Pablo the city. It's
Are we
fine.
gonna straight up manipulate our way out of oppression? Yes.
All right.
Yes, we are.
What is Roxy going for?
So Roxy grew closer to the team. I would say that she grew closer to Sylvie because she was actually shocked. Like, she didn't show it, but she was like, holy shit, she's talking about her feelings with Grandpa Les.
Mhm.
This is fucking crazy, right?
She was like,
So
"This is a big moment, and I'm not supposed to interrupt this."
Yeah. So she's just sitting there like, holy shit. But she felt really close to Sylvie in that she felt good that Sylvie was kind of talking about her feelings. I mean, there was kind of like a vicarious, like, I'm proud that you're sharing with Grandpa Les, but also like, I'm glad you feel safe enough to like have this vulnerability with us and to discuss that it is challenging for you to negotiate, you know, the values that you were brought up with versus the values that are like expected in societal norms of where you are currently located.
Yeah, it's great because those values are coming into play now.
I am proud that we all didn't just immediately suggest murdering Cynthia's dad.
There was a moment where Cynthia considered it.
I think there was a moment where every single one of us, except for Joe and Taffley, considered it. I was like, well, I could just smush his head like a grape.
Joe did not consider murder. He did consider fear tactics.
Threatening murder, which
Obviously.
is about as bad as Joe gets. No. Definitely Roxy had a moment of her brain where I could just with one fist punch his whole skull in. Then he'd be done. It'd be over.
Sylvie was definitely like, you know what? A
Or
fate
throat.
portal could be very easily placed.
Or we could chuck
my
him in a
God.
fake portal.
I would like to throw out to all of us here, though, that
Problem solved.
the announcement of this immediately followed by the murder of the councilman most in support of it is likely not going to go great.
That is why Roxy
This is
did
correct.
not suggest it. She would do it if it would make Cynthia feel better because that's how much she loves Cynthia. Also,
God.
there's another Roxy, so she has an alibi.
God. Pin a murder you did on yourself.
Yes. Okay, so
Wild.
I think
It
I
couldn't
will
have been Roxy.
also
Roxy was
shift
there.
because that was like kind of embracing like human ties
Yes.
with Roxy. I would say shifting mundane up and freak down.
Sweet. See, I'm the opposite of Elena right now. Like my shit's all over the place. I got like -1s all over the place. But
Yeah,
my
I do
freak
too.
can go up because freak is currently at 0. So that goes down though, right? Freak goes down to
Yep.
-1, and then mundane goes up to 0, which is good for what I have planned for next fucking
Session.
sesh.
It's gonna be great.
Calamity goes political campaign.
Oh my God. I'm here for it.
No, I mean
Gonna bring
seriously,
a
she's
whole
like,
new
I'm gonna
meaning to
just fucking
PR
fix
disaster.
this.
This is either gonna go great or it's gonna go
It's gonna be
terrible.
amazing. And I'm gonna take the potential, even though I still have 2 conditions because fuck it. And that gives me another level up, and I'm going to take wait for it. Adult move, stand up for something.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Fancy.
Our first
Okay, upgrade here. Okay, stand up for something. When you stand up for something, roll plus savior. On a +10, choose 2. 7 to 9, choose 1. Listeners can't keep what they're doing. Listeners can't flee without addressing you, or listeners can't attack you without losing status or position. That is going to be incredibly helpful with what situation we're likely about to get ourselves into.
I'm also very interested to see what happens
Calamity
because
was gonna be the fucking
of my
face.
plans.
What?
I said I'm also interested to see what happens because of my plans.
I am
Which
terrified of
Jenna,
your
I think you
plans.
will appreciate.
Oh
no.
no! Oh no!
That's scary.
Probably yes.
A deeply concerning statement.
It's both concerning and I like the chaos. So
Yes, and.
It has to do
Yes,
with
Anne.
a certain thing we talked about.
oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yes.
So. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Okay.
The
That was
praise cackle is extremely concerning.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Hopefully, you have a good week ahead of you in whatever you're doing, and it goes smoothly. Take time for yourself.
Do no harm, but take no shit.
That
Throw
Listen,
a
folks.
penguin out of a window.
Teach it to
Do
fly.
not kill a baby elephant. The mob will find you.
Punch
Life
Nazis.
advice.
So,
From TFT.
we will be
They're
back
all
So good
insane.
at this.
next week. For now, bye-bye.
Bye.